Good morning. My name is Evis with NapaTracs, and I'm live from Las Vegas with some great guests today talking about Power Partnership. With me this morning, I have Sam from AutoServe One. Good morning, Sam. How are you today?
Good morning.
Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Next, I have David from 360 Payments with me this morning.
Good morning,
sir. How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Thank
Good
you,
morning,
sir.
everyone.
I've got a surprise for you as well.
Appreciate
I don't
you.
want you to feel filled out. I've got Connor from Kukui with me this morning. Good morning, sir. Thanks for having us.
Aloha, guys.
And thank you for organizing this wonderful event for us. Good morning. And I have Jaron Kleber from Repair Shop of Tomorrow. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Awesome, sir. Awesome.
Thank
Well,
you for being here.
all right, so this morning we're going to share a lot of different stuff with you guys. We're going to talk to you guys about what Power Partnership really means, how it affects your business, and what it will do for your shop. So we'll share some stuff with you. We've got a lot of exciting stuff, so please tune in. I know it's going to be a long day filled with a lot of events, so we'll get you guys started off with NapaTracs. And what NapaTracs is really about and what we do is we partner with the customers to help them out and drive their business every single day and to help them manage their shop more efficiently. So I'll share some stuff with you guys. So Shop Management System, the most powerful tool in your shop. Why do I say that and why do we believe that? Is this where all your data lives. All of your customers are there. All of your vehicles are there. All the information that you have about those customers are available to you every single day that you can do. But what do you do with that information? How do you take that data and what do you do with it? So we'll share that information with you guys today and help you get where you need to go with your business. So a couple of things, efficiency and affordability features. So this is very important. How do you get the most out of your shop? What do you do every single day? So do you have your parts and labor make sure you're set up correctly? Are those right for your business? Are they right for your fleets, for your customers, for the everyday consumer that comes to your shop? Are you using DVI, digital vehicle inspections? That's a very important part, and I'll talk about it here soon. Are you selling by the job, or are you just quoting different things for the customers? Recommended services. Every vehicle out there, we know we have a lot of vehicles that are older, and especially with the economy today, some of vehicles are 11 plus years old on the road. So are we doing all recommended service to keep those cars longer alive and running properly? How are your technicians producing? Are they doing everything they can? And are you managing them properly? Customer relationship marketing. What are you doing to get those customers coming back to you? You know, what do you do when they're in your shop? What do you do when they leave your shop, and how do you get them to come back? And then you got to look at your business, right? You got to look and see, how well am I doing? What does my business look like as a KPI reporting, depending on what you're doing? And then profitability. Are you profitable? And are you doing all the right things every single day when it comes to your shop? So with that, continue with the profitability features, fast and accurate estimating. So, when a customer comes in, with their car, they want to come in and they want to be able to get what they need from you rather quickly, right? We know that's kind of impossible because you have to look at the car, but there's ways you can build and there's ways you can do stuff to show them kind of what that's going to look like for their job. And obviously having pro jobs and quick quotes set up inside of your business. Multi-vendor sourcing, right? So you want to be able to get the parts as fast as you possibly can and find the right products the first time for your customer so you can give your customer true estimate when the car is going to be done. So within Tracs, we have a lot of great features. We partner with a lot of great customers of ours to help us get that information to you quicker. Obviously, profitability. We have dashboards that help you measure how well are you doing every single day, what is happening in your shop, and how well are you performing. Multi-shop, if you have more than one location, we can help you manage those as well. So having 3 or 4 locations, but we can have it all central for you and show you what it looks like so you can look at every business and what it does. And then tire shop, for you guys that are selling tires, and I know that's becoming more and more, a lot of everybody is doing, those functionalities are available for you as well. So you are able to show your customers what you need, show them different vendors, show them different products and stuff like that. Again, texting is becoming the way to communicate with everybody today. I am sure when you send an email or call that customer, sometimes those response times are long. So we have done some studies. When you do send an email to the customer, it takes about an hour for them to respond because not everybody checks their emails at all times. When you call them, sometimes they're busy, they could be in a meeting, or they could be in a live session just like I am right now. So they won't answer their phone talking about the car, but a text can be answered. And a lot of times people say text responses are 4 minutes or less. Well, you want to be able to do that so you can get your base faster turnaround. You can get those approvals for the cars to start working. And at the end of the day, when the car is done, you can let your customer know, hey, your vehicle is finished, and here's a link to pay. So we'll show you guys that as well too. Multi-vendor sourcing is an important piece, and it's an important part inside the shop management system. So you're able to see all of your part suppliers in one place, including the OEs, and all of the different catalogings and all of the different parts vendors that are out there available, so you can order from all of them with one click, get all the parts coming so you can get the job faster. So again, making sure we are more efficient and we are staying on top of the stuff. Quick Quote is a very cool tool. What we have done, as customers come in, I'll show you this later on in the live demo. When a customer comes in, they ask for a specific job. You quote them the job, but now you had quoted prior some other things to them, some different jobs. Well, inside a Quick Quote, those will always live there unless the customer does the work or they have done the work previously somewhere else. So that's kind of a beauty, and I'll show you guys when we do the live of what that looks like and how that works. So parts and labor matrices. There's two ways, traditional and linear. So traditional parts matrix is something that, we have sat down and kind of done, right? We take, buy this for this much money, this is what I want to make, and this is what you kind of do. And then you kind of go with the dollars, and then the higher the dollars, the lower the GP percentages in there. But when it comes to linear matrices, this way you can get a little bit more creative, right? A dollar part does not mean you need to sell it for $2 or $1.50 if you're doing the traditional matrix. If you'd let the matrix grow, so you're making 74% GP on that dollar, now that part is $3.85. And you do it every dollar of the step of the way, which ensures you maximize all your profits, you maximizing all the costs of your business, and it helps you grow your shop, and it helps you grow all of those different things inside of your shop. So those are very important pieces. The traditional stuff worked for a long time, but I think as we go further into this new feature and these cars and parts, we have to look at how do we maximize every single thing inside of a shop? How do we make it better? How do we make more money at the end of the day? And how do you get to the results you need to achieve for your shop? So digital vehicle inspections. I mean, this is a very big part. So this is where kind of helps you drive a lot more business in your way. So did you guys know that 2 out of 3 customers do not trust the repair shop? There could be many reasons for that. Reason one is somebody someday may have lied to them. Somebody may have told them something they didn't need, and they took it to another shop and they told them they didn't need that, and another shop told them they needed it, but you told them they didn't need it. So there was a lot of things when consumers are out there looking for the repair, looking for the best place to fix their car, is they just go many places and shop. And if somebody says something and the other guy says something, so who do you believe? Who do you trust? So how do you now fix that issue? How do you do it? So with DVI, digital vehicle inspections, taking a picture of that repair, taking a picture of that broken part or how it's supposed to be working, and show them those wear and tear pieces on the vehicle. Now you improve that piece. So you improve the efficiency of your shop. You obviously drive more sales because now you are showing them what they need fixed, and they're making a good buying decision. And you build loyalty with the customer. You build that trust. So digital vehicle inspection also will strengthen your customer relationships, right? There's nothing worse when a customer says, I'm not going to go to John's Repair because they do this and this. Or when a customer says, I will go to John's Repair because John's always has done this for me. They've always treated me well. They've done those things for me. So it's important. Also, the customers will come back more frequently because you are the go-to place, because they believe in you, they trust in you, and they see what you're doing for them. And then average repair order. We'll show you that, guys, during the DVI portion, but that drives that number pretty high because you're able to show the customer what they need, how it affects their vehicle, and then you can create even a roadmap on how they need to fix the car, which will obviously increase the cost. And then the customers will always be happy and satisfied with what you have. That's very important for them. Customer experience. This is a big one. if you are still taking a customer's credit card and go somewhere in your shop behind the counter and you're walking in the back or you're walking on this other side and you grab this little machine that's attached to this phone wire and then you put a card in and then you take the card, say, can you put your PIN number in? And then you print a copy of the receipt. They have to sign it now. You have to staple it. Well, that customer experience, lacks a little bit. So we have to change that. So when you go to your local grocery store, that somebody takes your credit card and puts it somewhere else, or do they actually install it, or are you able to put it in yourself? If you go to your local shopping center, whatever you're buying, what happens there? So when you are looking at all of those different things, when it comes to the customers, their money is the most important piece to them, and they're spending it. Sometimes they don't have it. So if you make that experience where they come in and they're able to put a card in, put their PIN number in, now when you print that ticket with the signature on it, or just one ticket, there's no more stapling receipts, there's no more additional copies, and you're not embedded in a lot of paperwork. And then you can go all electronic when you do this part, where you send the invoices to your customers via email or via text, so they have it. So just makes that experience a lot better when you're doing those things. So within the Trax system, 360 payment is fully integrated, which means the customer doesn't go anywhere. They put in the card right up front. They sign right on the machine. It prints on the ticket, on the job ticket when you finish, or you can email that copy. And also the customer can text to pay as well. So when the job is done, you send them the link, they pay for the job, and it's done as well. You can just drop your keys in your lockbox up front, and it will show the customer, builds their loyalty and their relationship with the customer, and the seamless process of I've dropped my car off, they fixed my car, they were good, they showed me my DVI, I was able to finalize my payment without doing any kind of weird stuff. So if you're not doing this, please look into it. There's a lot of ways you can do this and make that experience much better for your customer. Well, another thing we talk about is the marketing piece. So what do you do when you have all of this data, right? I said that it's the most powerful tool in your shop. So what do you do when you have all of this data? What do you do when you have all of those different things? You have their phone numbers, you have their vehicles, you have their age, you have the mileage. How do you get to them, and how do you get them to come back, right? Sometimes just a thank you for being a loyal customer goes a long way. Sending something out to them and saying, hey, thank you for being a valued customer, I really appreciate it, that goes a long way. Or taking the car and saying, hey, we have looked at your vehicle so many times, and here's a couple of pieces we would like to do. So sending some reminders, maybe some coupons, maybe some different things to get them to come in. And then obviously managing reputation. I know sometimes when you get that bad review, the first instinct is you want to go online and you want to type something up and say, hey, this is wrong. Sorry. This is wrong. You shouldn't, this is not how it happened. But you have a company that manages it for that and addresses those bad complaints, including the good complaints. It just builds your better reputation and all this stuff, right? Recommended services. Again, like I said, cars are older. We want to make sure we manage those vehicles so the customers can drive them longer. And then there's all kinds of marketing campaigns that you guys can use within your shop and help you get those things done. So again, this is also well integrated inside of Trax. The data can be pulled out, everything can be seen, and it helps you out with a lot of different things. And then obviously you have to know where you are to know where you're gonna go, right? So KPIs and tracking your stuff in a shop, it's a very important piece, right? So when you open your door on day one of the month, there's a lot of bills, right? You have shop expenses, you have rent, you have utilities, you have all of those different things that happen, and you have to do XYZ every single month to cover your expenses, to cover your employees, and make sure your business stays afloat, right? So we've got to look at where you're going, and you have to set goals, right? So you have to inspect what you expect from your service writers, from your technicians, and how that works. So within Trax, we have a beautiful software that is designed around your business. It can be built any way you want to, but it'll show your customers exactly what a business looks like, what it can take the business, and what the business does every single day. So, right. So number one, you have to set goals. Beginning of the year in January, you have to, or December, you got to look at your year and say, okay, what am I going to do next year? What is my goal, and how will I achieve that goal, right? Now then you have to review it. And we have to stay consistent weekly, monthly, however you decide to do it, but you've got to manage it. Then you've got to manage the people inside of your business, making sure that everybody is doing what they're supposed to be doing and how it actually works, right? Actual hours versus billed hours, right? So those are, that's very important piece. And that is something we talk a lot about. So actual hours, if your technician spends 45 hours in your shop working, but they're billing 32, that there's a 13-hour gap. What do you do with that? How do you manage that? So you've got to look at it and figure those things out. So, and then also, a reward-based program for your employees. How much are they selling? What are they doing? Their productivity, to help achieve the results you need to achieve every single day in your shop. So within Trax, we have all of those available to you, and all of those things are possible so that you can get all of those things done. So managing your business from inside out, utilizing the tool, right? It's the most powerful tool in your business. Is where do you take it? So if you are using a shop management system and you're not putting all of those things in one, and then finding companies or finding different partnerships to help you get where you need to go, I think you really start looking. And please stay tuned for the rest of the day, because we'll teach you all of those things. So with that, I'm going to go into Trax Live at the moment and kind of show you guys what a kind of an work order looks like, what a quick quote part looks like, and how we can show you how you build that relationship and trust with your customers. Because that's the most important part, because you want them to keep coming back to you. You don't want them going down to Joe's Garage when you're right here, or going somewhere else because we just did not do what they wanted us to do, and would not give them everything they wanted when they came in the first time. So with that, I'll switch it over to the Trax demo. So, kind of have this pre-built, and kind of what I wanted to show everybody is when your customer comes into your shop, and they tell you, hey, I have this job, or my car is making this noise, or I just need an oil change. Well, many times it happens when we do build a ticket like this, where we just build the oil change and we have all those stuff on there. We show the customer, we tell them, all right, no problem, we got it. We'll look at it now. The technician comes back and he has all kinds of different work notes, right? And saying, hey, I need this and need this. And then many times people just populate the ticket with all kinds of different things. So in this scenario, as you guys saw, we have the lube oil filter. We have the digital vehicle inspection on here, and obviously we have all the parts, right? Obviously we have a waste, disposal of oil, filter, the fluids, right? And then we just did a basic DVI inspection, and we did a tire. Obviously make sure the tires are okay on the car. So this is something, customer came from an oil change, this is exactly what we give them. The DVI, there was no charge for that. It's about a 15 or 20 minute or 30 minute, depending how you set it up in your shop, that a customer, that your technician can look at the car and then obviously share some great information with the customer, some great findings. But at the end of the day, they came in for an oil change. So we want to quote them just the oil change. So when we do complete the DVI on this particular vehicle, we found some additional problems. We found some additional things that's wrong with the car. But if it's all in one ticket, it just kind of blurs this whole thing out. And how do you show the customer exactly, hey, you came in for this, but I found all this stuff and your ticket is $1,000? How does this sound? When you really think about it, when you really put yourself in that customer's shoes, you tell them, I came for an oil change and now you want me to pay you $1,000. Well, let me show you a couple of things. So when we have stuff like this, so take it for an example, this oil change. I'm having some little, there we go. So we have an oil change here. So if you take this, and what we like to do, and I'll explain this here in a second. So we're going to call this the oil change job, right? And the reason we are doing that is because that's what we want to show the customer, and that's what we want to show the ticket. So when you do such thing, at the bottom, it kind of shows you what this breakdown of the job was. Like labor was $33. There were $5 in charges and $41 in parts, for a total of $79.95. Obviously, we have taxes. And then obviously we got to charge for shop supplies and hazmat fees. But in this particular order, you do not do that when it comes to oil changes, because you're kind of building that package. Now you can show your customer, well, sir, ma'am, you came in and this is what we have. This is what we found in your car. And this is what it looked like. So why we ask everybody, and we said, quoted by the job, as we spoke earlier, is when you go to a restaurant, and I like using this scenario because it just works. If you go to a restaurant and order a steak with asparagus or mashed potatoes or whatnot, when you get the final bill, does it tell you the steak was $21, your asparagus was $5, your mashed potatoes was $4, the cook time, the cook was $11, and so forth and so forth, or do they give you a package deal? So that package deal is what you want to show your customer. So this customer came in, they want to talk about the oil change. This is what we're giving them. This is what we're quoting them, right? So we quote them the oil change, but during the DVI, we found the multiple things wrong with the car. Well, so within tracks, we can add as many sub-estimates as you need to. So down here in the bottom, we already created. So we found out that the front brakes were bad on this car. So we looked at the front brakes. The service writer put this on a sub-estimate because this is not what the customer's here for. And then you guys keep hearing me this. I cannot stress this enough, is you want to quote them what it came in for and then add the other pieces. So they came in for the oil change, but we found that the brakes were wrong. So we need the pads and the rotors. So we build that sub-estimate for the customer as well, showing them what that looks like, right? During our DVI inspection, we also found that the control arms on the car were bad as well. And those control arms needed some attention, and we also quoted a job as well for the customer. Well, with control arm failure, you do get tire failure. Tires just, cannot wear right. So, we want to give customers some options when it comes to tires, right? So we don't want to just tell them one price. So we build a tire job as well, showing them what that looks like, right? But we have another package for tires because we want to show our customers, the value when they come in, right? And why should they buy one or the other, right? So we want to give them options, when they're buying things. So, so one tire job is $950, the other tire job is $678. And sometimes, people may ask, well, why would I sell them something cheaper or this? Well, once we give the customer options and then show them the different values they can do it, then they make the decision. And if you're upfront and honest with them and you're giving them multiple deals, what do you think they're going to do? So, give your customers the options. They'll understand it. So with the brake job, like I said, we also have that set up with that. But one thing that I kind of want to show you guys, if you guys are looking at this, labor shows at negative 9%. So within tracks, we can just kind of go to worksheet and look at and see why that order is below. So if you guys are looking at it, so remember we said earlier, we got to manage your business. You got to look at it. So it's kind of small. And one of my screens is not popping up on the screen, but I'll kind of walk you through it. So in tracks, we have a couple of things where it just shows the work order itself, where it kind of highlights what you guys have seen here, because this is small to read, where you can actually see where you are missing, where you're missing your opportunity. So this work order is under target by $259. So the labor line is short. So sometimes we need to look at that and make adjustments to ensure that is working right. So you can look at it and you can kind of scroll through these different pieces on here and see, okay, where am I making the money? Where am I not making the money, right? And you can see it clearly right there. And this, both of these lines, there's some work here to be done with those. So, and you can easily change that. You can go to the summary. You can actually click on the quantity. You can change it here. You can click on the dollars. You can make it for whatever you need to make it. Or you can change this and say, I want this to be 1.4. And it will automatically do the math for you. So you can make adjustments on the fly when you see something like this. And that's very important, that you can do that, right? So you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to leave the screen. but it's also very good for the service writer as they're quoting these to look and say, oh, are we doing the right thing? So you as the owner or the service writer, you got to make sure you review all of these. I left this one intentionally just to show you guys how quickly you can make adjustments, how quickly you can get back to where you need to be. So you can make the money where you need to make the money in. So yeah, adjustments, and obviously you can have multiple labor lines in here, and obviously you guys saw it just cleared that up. So there's no more problems with profitability on that thing. On the control arms, we're doing good. And again, you click on the worksheet and I'll kind of show you what you're doing there. And then I'm sure many of you are asking, why don't we have alignments on the tires? Well, we do have the alignments on the control arms. As you change those, that's when the alignment should be made. And then after, if the customer decides to go with the tires, then you can make the package. So one cool thing when it comes to tires, as soon as you have when you have a tire ticket on the job, you can click DOT and you can register those tires. So I know many states have this regulation, some don't, but it kind of takes a step away. It's already registered. You don't have to do any additional work and do it. So now what happens? Customer calls. They came in for this oil change. We've been talking about it, and what does that look like? And so they call in, and now you're talking to the Mr. Customer or Mrs. Customer. If you click this quick quote button right here, it will pull up all of those different jobs, right? So if you name the jobs where they are, as you're talking to the customer, and if you click on it, it will just add it to the column. So now, as the customer is in here, say, hey, Mr. Smith, you're dipping your car in for an oil change. That total today would be $83.20. Are you okay with us to proceed? But I want to talk to you about something else. So once we completed a DVI inspection on your vehicle, we found a couple of other pieces on your vehicle that they were wrong and need the attention. So the front brakes and the rotors are worn out. Those need to be replaced. Also, the lower control arms on your vehicle are bad, and those need to be replaced. And your tires need some attention as well. So I've sent you the inspection. Have you had a chance to look at it? The customer says, yeah, I saw that. So what does my total look like at the moment? Well, we can get your brakes done for $1,500. You can just add it. So your new total would be $1,584. If you want to do the control arms for your vehicle, that'd be an additional $1,600, so it'd be a $3,266. And then depending which tire package you look at, those tire packages I've sent to you, the customer can say, I looked, I'll go with the $150 one. So your total today is $4,216. So with this, as the customer has the information, as you have already built all this stuff up, the first thing we talked to them about was the oil change, the reason they came to your shop. After you've done the inspection, you have done those things. Does everybody say yes every single time on every single thing? Probably not. But sometimes you can, it depends on the service writer or your service manager, how they talk to the customer about it. Sometimes they can get them to do different things. And you can say, well, sir, one thing that I would recommend right now, your brakes, we can probably wait another oil change, but those control arms, they need to be replaced, and they're kind of a safety issue, safety hazard. We can do them once we do the alignment. We may be able to get, some mileage out of those tires, a little bit more. And next time you come, we'll do the brakes. So you kind of set up a repair plan for the car. Allows the customer to make the decision. So it was simple. So you can just click those and add them to the ticket, right? If you don't do anything, the ticket stays. Another thing that we have inside Trax, if you're using NAPA Easy Pay, you can pre-qualify this customer right here for NAPA Easy Pay, right? So you can go to the payment screen. Looks like we don't have that turned on this one, but you can just check and see if the customer is, eligible. So you can kind of get them pre-approved. So you kind of let them know about that too. Say, hey, while we're here, we did a soft credit check, and we look like we can, we can get you this job interest-free for 6 months, and we can get all of this done for your vehicle today. So the digital vehicle inspection, as you guys kind of see, and we'll show you that when SAM comes up, the digital vehicle inspection can really help you drive additional things with your customers. It can really help you streamline the process in the shop. And I know it's a change, and I know sometimes those are tough, but as you kind of work with it and work with your team and kind of show them, you can build these tickets, and your search writers can build tickets, and you'll see an improvement in your RO. You'll see improvement in how you engage your customers and what you do. So, I talked earlier about multi vendors and what that looks like and how you can do it. So from this particular ticket, you can click this button right on top. It's actually tied to the work order. It's tied to the vehicle. You can click on the parts stack catalog, and you can just select the part you're looking for. It doesn't matter what it is. What this does, it kind of checks all of your different vendors, and you can kind of go through and see who's got the parts I need, so I can get my job done. So you can kind of scroll through them. You review it, whichever supplier you buy your parts from. In this case, we buy a lot of our parts from Napa, so we can just get them. We can add them to cart. An example, let's say you were looking for something else in the particular cabin air filter. Let's say Napa didn't show it in stock, or Worldpac or whoever, you can just find that part and get it from there as well, add it. So another thing you can do with this piece, and this is where the tire piece is integrated, you just click the button, tires. So what you see, tires come up, and these are the sizes that came on this 2010 F-150. This is all the factory sizes. Or you can also search them by separately. So you just click on the tire, again, pull up all the vendors in one place. You can look at all the different vendors, and look at the tires. You can filter by brand, what's available next to you. If there is a specific tire that the customer wants or needs for the vehicle, you can just go through it. And again, if you guys are looking on top, all of your vendors show what's available, what's there for them, how many it's available, and how fast they can order. And again, that's all about how fast can I, from the car that comes in, me greeting the customer, them coming into my shop, to me, obviously quoting this ticket, and kind of have a rough estimate of what the stuff the customer has, right? We can't quote it 100%, but we can kind of give them an estimate, say, hey, this is what it looked at. That's why it's called an estimate, until the technician looks at the car and you guys complete the DVI. So, so that's the way of ordering parts through that piece. We talked about OE dealerships, right? So this is another big piece, how you can get to your OEs, and order parts from them as well, to make sure that you have those available things in there. So back to this actual estimate, we talked about this, my customers and all of those different things. So if you guys are looking at this, this particular shop has 34,926 customers in the database, right? Or tickets. How many customers that is, I would probably say about 20,000. I would say 60%, because you have some that duplicate and stuff of that nature. But what do you do with this data? So, with easy clicks, you can search by customer names. You can search, by vehicles, by vehicle name, however you created those things. And now you can market to specific customers. You can just market to your fleet customers. So you can get the data out and talk to them and show them what they need, right? Within the reporting tool, again, probability managers dashboard, recommended service, all of those things, as you are building this database, as you're talking to your customers, as you're creating all of these different things, it allows you to have access right here, right there, so you can get the information as fast as you need to get it, right? With this, you can search for any customers. You can search all, or you can just type in the name for the customer, and you can just find them all, and you can look at them. You can search by vehicles. And again, this is all the data. So that's why I say this tool is so powerful, because you have so many avenues on what you can do and what you can do with it, right? You can keep track of your inventory, your purchase orders, your accounts receivables, how you do your billing. Just many different options of doing stuff and managing your business, right? Working with items, just looking at different things for your product, right? Managing inventory is very important, and again, very powerful tool in your shop, right? So you want to know what's on your shelf. You want to know that the dollars that you've invested are doing some work and are there for you. So again, within Trax, there's a lot of different things you can do. So coming back to this ticket, um, again, always remember that you should always quote what the customer came in for. You should always give them that first, and that should be the only ticket you show them, and then create sub estimates for any additional work that you need to do. But what I would like to do now is just kind of show you guys we can just create a very simple estimate, right? So in some instances, if you have created the jobs, if you created all the things you needed to do in a shop, if you have the job, I mean, we're just gonna use an alignment piece right here. It's already in here, so you select it, right? And it's in there. But if you needed some parts for this actual job, you just go to the catalog. Again, because we have opened in that car, it's always going to stay there until you close it. And you can open multiple tickets. You need some tie rod ends. And when you find a part you need, all right, Napa has it in stock, perfect. This is a fleet vehicle. I'm going to add to cart. I had this filter from previous, so we're going to delete that filter, and we're just going to click transfer, and done. And obviously, both of those parts came on the ticket. Obviously, they're marked up already, and then because during the alignment piece when the customer was there, they removed this filter real fast. So when you were doing the alignment, that the tie rods were bad, so you can do it, and you can just simply make this a job, right? So move selected item, new job, tie rods, call it, and it's kind of going to show you. And then at the bottom in here, you can actually just click that, and you can just call that job too. So because you don't want to leave them sub estimate number 3, number 4, number 5. It just makes it tough to differentiate what you have out there. So with this, you're able to kind of talk to the customers. And again, a lot of these pieces I have on this ticket, a lot of safety issues. And I know many of you are saying, well, all of those need to be done right away. But not every job will be like this. Sometimes you may, the customer came in for front brake pads, and, you found some other issues with the vehicle, or you found some wear and tear. You may have tested the battery is testing good, low charge. So that possibly can last. Or you may look at the tires have some tread on them, but before the winter arrives, we need to replace them. So you can kind of build however you see fit. So utilizing the sub-estimate piece is to build those jobs. And then when you go to quick quote, you are able to show you'll be able to say, oh, okay, the tie rod ends. Okay. So you can just add it to the ticket. You can expand it, and you're able to give your customer a new order or what it is. So that's kind of it. I mean, if you're using Trax and you need some assistance, please don't hesitate to call our inside sales team or your local territory sales manager so we can help you. We're also providing with a lot of different training options online for you guys, so it's utilizable. But with that, that would be kind of it for me for this morning. I'll be back later on this afternoon to share some more stuff. And we have some exciting stuff. We have some exciting promotions we're going to offer at the end of the day. And we're going to have a little bit of a panel where all 5 of us that I've introduced this morning will talk and tell you guys, about the business. I kind of show you guys the power of partnership and how well all of our companies work together. Napa Auto Parts with AutoServe One, with Repair Shop of Tomorrow, with Kakui and 360 Payments. And, as we partner up, we want to create the best experience for everybody out there and show you guys how well we can help you and how much we can drive your business. So with that, we are going to find out where Sam left. And we're going to bring her out here, and she's going to share a lot of knowledge about DVI. Like I've said, DVI is very important tool in your shop. And I can tell you it integrates really well with Trax. We've spent a lot of time working together to make the process as seamless as possible, so your technicians, your service writers, everybody can utilize and have a lot of that stuff with that tool. Um, so I'm sure Sam is somewhere here, so I guess I can talk a lot longer about this. But as we can tradition today, please stay tuned. Like I said, we have a lot of great stuff to give away this afternoon. We have a lot of great things to show you guys, to give you some knowledge and to show you how the partnership works and how these 5 companies work together and what they do for everybody. So Sam from AutoServe One is here this morning. She's having some fun. She's all rested up. She had breakfast and she's ready to talk to you guys about AutoServe One. So have fun. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you. And I have not eaten today. I just want to start off and say I am extremely happy to be here and be a part of this group where we are all coming together and putting our programs together for the benefit of the mutual customer. So when we talk about partnership, we're not talking about what's just going to benefit one company. We're talking about how we can work together to truly make a package and a program that is ultimately going to benefit what you need in your shops. So a little intro on me. I've been in the industry for over a decade. I love this industry. I know majority of the shops out there are amazing people wanting to truly provide for their community and their families and their companies. So AutoServe One is a digital vehicle inspection program. We have taken the paper process that majority of shops are utilizing and digitize it to where it's a streamlined process. It's consistent, and also it's taking elements and speeding up the efficiency in the shop. It is not a question that majority of customers out there don't trust this industry. It has nothing to do with you. It has the fact that they don't understand it. They don't know the 30,000 different items that are on a vehicle. They don't know how they interact. And up until recent, we used to do the show and tell aspect of things where we'd walk people to the back and show them. Unfortunately, that's just not a common practice today. So majority of customers in the US right now lack confidence because they feel overcharged. They don't know the investment that goes into a technician certification, all the equipment, and the entire process. All they see is it should be done fast. And also, they don't understand the recommendations of the functionality of the vehicle. That's 2 out of 3 customers in the US not trusting our industry. It's up to us to make a change. We need to improve the experience. We need to clearly communicate the recommendations to the customers in a way that they understand what is being told to them and why. And we also need to educate on the value. Educate on the value of your shop, your business, and overall your technicians and their experience. Making sure that, yes, it's wonderful if I can get that job done faster for you and get it correct. But there's experience and value to get to that point. We're going to look at the results first. So when you implement DVI, when you implement consistent inspections and actually presenting that to the customer, estimating it out completely, and ensuring that the customer fully understands, you have true results. So I'm going to take an average shop, so 3 bays that are seeing approximately 12 cars per day, with the national average ARO being 402. A 22%, which is what we see on average on the low end, is approximately over $1,000 a day. That's a huge impact with streamlining your process, educating your customers, and delivering that value. I like to say this, everybody wins. Customers need their vehicles fixed. They're not magically going to fix themselves and service themselves, but they want to understand. Shops and technicians want to get faster approvals. They want their customers to be happy and to trust them. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we need the money to run our business, to be able to invest more in the future. we all win. The benefits here overall is improving efficiency, elevating your trust with your customer and also with your technicians and your advisors, building faster estimates. When you streamline that process, it's given you the ability to focus on what you truly need to focus on as an advisor, educating and explaining the services the customers don't fully get with the support of the digital inspection, educational videos, videos of their actual vehicle and the needs, and also videos of that element of what needs to be fixed and why. And then again, naturally, we increase our ARO, we increase our revenue because we're not having to sell each element. Customers get it. They feel more confident. And I like to say they feel empowered to say yes faster. We make it easy. With easy implementation, it typically takes 20 minutes per role to get this going. We make the inspection process easy. You're not having a paper. You're not having to decode chicken scratch. You're having a consistent process so that when customers come in, they know what to expect. They know that the recommendations are going to be the same every time if needed. We save time on integration. We're pulling in the elements that you're typically having to write down and or elements that you're having to go search and find. And then again, it all ties back to that proven ARO and increase repair order. How it works overall is, I'm going to use Trax as an example. They're one of our wonderful partners. When you create a job ticket inside of Trax and you identify that this customer is somebody you want to do an inspection on, that is going to populate over into AutoServe One. AutoServe One's dashboard will pick up what is needed to be inspected, provide this ticket to the technician to perform their inspection. Performing their inspection is super easy. They have their speed tabs. They have their inspectable items. They have their findings and the recommendations, all fully customized to what your shop's verbiage is, what your flow of the inspection work is. And also they can attach photos, they can attach videos, they can include additional comments from a tech to the advisor. So if they need to expand on that finding, they also can indicate on the images what to focus on. For the example here, we have a cracked brake pad and we have some hot spots going on. This is extremely important for customers to see. When you tell them they need their brakes done, great, okay, they're not squeaking. But when you show them that this is an issue, it becomes real for them. All this information is documented, built out inside of AutoServe One, and also transferred back to Trax. This is one example of our integration with them where it creates a sub-estimate. So all of those findings, the critical level, so warning and critical, populate over. The findings, whether it's dirty, the recommendation on what needs to be done, populates right back over into Trax so that you can start building out that estimate. And then automatically with modifications and changes, just going through and making sure that the edits are done for the advisor, we already pre-build this report for you. The advisor just goes and checks it and makes sure that, yes, this is what I want to send to that customer. Now, when customers see this, a lot of the times, this is what they need. This is what they want. They want to understand what is being recommended to them in a way that doesn't overwhelm them. We have strategically designed this program and the report that goes to the customer to empower them, to not be crazy overwhelming, and to flow them through service recommendations and requirements. So as you can see on the screen, it's going to show we have their reason for visit outlined. We have the required services listed as an expanded item, because that's the number one thing they want to know. Did you address why I brought my vehicle in, and what do I need done now? Then we give them the control and also the advisor the control to expand the service suggested. Can I include this in today's service, or do we need to plan that out? This gives you overall the control along with the educational aspect of what we're doing here. Why AutoServe One? It's easy to use. You're not having to relearn a whole lot going on in your shop. It's implementing the process. You can start slow and add on to that. You can simply build out this inspection to match what you already have, or you can have our recommendations and build it with you. We want you to succeed. Simple consumer reports. We want to ensure that customers, when they are getting recommendations, it's no longer just me telling you what you need. It is me showing you what we found, why, and the path forward on how we're going to fix it. The reality of it is, our vehicles are the second biggest purchase that we typically purchase in our lifetime. And we purchase multiple of them throughout our life. I mean, some probably not. But ultimately, we need them to run. We need, every time we get in that vehicle, that we can have confidence it's going to take us to the destination. They need the confidence of a shop. They need somebody that they can trust to provide that service and give them honest recommendations and make them feel that, yes, if Bob says I need it done, I need it done. He invests in me as a customer, and make sure I understand. And by the way, look at this awesome report. It increases ARO because customers understand. You're not having to chase them to sell this. You're not having to go through the hoops of saying, yes, you do have a loose tie rod. You tell them, you show them, it's real. The revenue impact overall, we know it does what everybody is looking for. We know that the faster you can show a customer and get their green light, the faster you can work on it. Two-way integration, we are actively working with Trax and other programs out there to make sure that the integration is evolving and we're not just stopping. I sit down personally and work with the teams to make sure that the data we're pulling in, the data we're pushing, is exactly what the shops are needing. And we're not going to stop. We're going to keep building. We're going to keep integrating. And if you're a gold shop, our program is a requirement, not ours. DVI is a requirement to keep your certification. And our program is covered by your gold funds, and it covers the entire program for the whole year. Our cost to entry is low. The impact is high, but the entry is low. You can get AutoServe One under the Napa umbrella for $128 a month. I mean, you can't even get a dinner for two at a good steakhouse for $128 a month. And everything that you're getting with this is huge. You're getting the ability to customize your inspection, the ability to have a consistent process, the support of our team to ensure that your findings and your recommendations are what you need. You're getting that two-way integration with Trax. You're getting always scheduled maintenance and mobile estimate approval, so that way you're actually getting the ability of documenting that the customer is approving that dollar amount. You're also getting speed specs. I didn't touch on this in my screen review, but I'm going to touch on it now. In our system, we have the ability to provide motor speed specs drilled down to the year, make, and model of that vehicle. What does that mean? So as a technician, if I'm performing an oil change, I probably need to have that oil lamp reset procedure. Well, instead of jumping over to another screen, having to type in the vehicle make and model and trim, and having to go through and find it, our system already is drilled down to that area. You click on a button and it's there. So you're not having to search for that. You're not having to search for oil viscosity, rotor discards, brake specifications, and a wide variety of additional pieces that we know that you need. We know that technicians need these items a majority of their services, but we want to ensure that what we're providing you, you use. We make it easy, we make it intuitive, and ultimately, we make it so everybody can win. You have additional abilities to add on within our program. I'm not going to go over that. We do have a lovely setup fee. Not going to touch on that. Thank you very much. I know I went through this pretty fast. DVI is something that is coming. Majority of customers are going to get to a point where they're asking for it. I would say don't wait too long to take a look, and it never hurts to look. If you're happy with your DVI program, awesome. But still look, you don't know what's out there. Make sure that you're able to kind of compare and don't settle. So I am going to kick us off to a break. So stay tuned. I think we have about a 15-minute break, maybe longer. But thank you very much for your time and tuning in. I truly do appreciate what we all can do together to make an impact in this industry in a positive way. Hi, everybody. It's me again. I just want to give you a quick update of our agenda. I talked a little fast, so we are speeding up a few things, and we're going to be starting and kicking off our next segment with 360 at 10:30 Pacific and 1:30 Eastern, followed by Kukui, and then we're going to have Repair Shop tomorrow on. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're back. Hopefully you had a chance to grab a bite to eat or put out a fire at your business. We're reporting live again from Kukui Studios. My name is David Fenyveshi. I'm with 360 Payments. Today, I'd like to start off by thanking our partners, Kukui, for hosting this event, and all of our other partners, NapaTrax and Napa Auto Care, Repair Shop of Tomorrow, AutoServe One. Fantastic partners, and we're here today to tell you about what the power of partnership is. My agenda today is first introduce 360 Payments, share some stories, how we started and where we are today. Next, we will talk about how to improve payments workflow in your business and your automotive repair shop. And last, we will cover the payments benefits for all Auto Care members that can take advantage of fantastic products and fantastic programs all across the United States. So who is 360 Payments? Obviously, we are a payments, card processing, or also known merchant services company. A product that you can get from your bank, you can get from an online company, or you can get from 360 Payments. Since we represent the automotive industry, and that is something we focus on the most, we encourage you to get to know us. If you haven't heard of us before, please reach out to us, check us out on YouTube, on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, so forth and so on, and get to know 360 Payments. And, reach out to us if you have any questions. You're welcome to connect with any of our sales team. History about 360, we started in 2011 in San Jose. The company was started by 3 payments industry experts, my favorite colleagues, Lisa Coyle, Steve Cibitoni, and Jesse Madaw. Back in 2011, just the 3 of them going to talk to businesses on foot, door to door, trying to figure out how to build a company. Fast forward, today, we have 50 plus employees, 2 offices, and we cover all states in the United States. Again, focusing on your industry, the automotive space. We also handle and create payments integrations that tie directly into the shop management software and DVI tools. I'll talk more about that in detail later, but as you heard from Evis earlier, NapaTrax within the Auto Care program is one of our top partners, where we continue to acquire clients and help customers get paid faster and receive payments integrated within your shop management system. One of our also very important selling points from our brand is a no contract policy. I believe, having been working for our company for a decade, that really sets us apart from our competition. We believe bringing on customers without a contract. Most of our competitors, bigger banks, so forth and so on, tend to lock in customers with some type of a contract, which we don't believe is necessary. We believe in our products, we believe in our people, and we believe good people, good employees will result in happy clients. Those are our mottos. That's what we focus on. And highlighting here some of our Google reviews. If you heard of us before and maybe you're not ready to make the switch to work with 360 Payments, I encourage you to read some of those reviews and see what other peers are saying out there. We're very proud of those numbers. Now, 360 Payments by the numbers. Most exciting, of course, is reaching 10,000 plus customers. In order for us to do that, today we're processing about $8 billion annually. We have between 25 and 30,000 devices out there at various businesses. And those are stats and those are important. And, we're proud of that. But we're most proud of our CSAT score, which is 93%. I believe it jumped to 95 recently. Our customer service rating when handle issues. Issues will happen. Customers will call us for help. Where is this? Where is that? They'll have issues. And we focus on how to fix those issues as fast as possible, as efficiently as possible. And luckily, those scores, those CSAT scores are coming back at 90+%. As far as activations, we're blessed to be able to activate approximately 200 plus new accounts every month. And our employee scores are also above 90%. Across the industry, I talked about our payments integration. We have today over 50 of them. NapaTrax, AutoServe One, some of the ones to highlight, but we work with a lot of our partners, which is very important. And that's a benefit, again, back to you, the AutoCare member, the customers that can take advantage of those integrations. Also, we're very proud to be affiliated with GPC, AutoCare, NapaTrax, and recently we have taken awards home. The 2022 Napa AutoCare Strategic Contribution Award, as well as an MVP award. My colleagues on the picture, Steve and Jesse, represented us and took those awards. And again, we're very proud to be associated with GPC and Napa AutoCare. We share the same values. We continue to grow together, helping the business owners, AutoCare members out there. Also, 360 Payments approach in the automotive industry. On the screen here, you probably recognize, if not all, but most of these brands. Ratchet and Wrench, a magazine publication. You'll see features of 360 in there. You also can see us at Apex. So if you're attending SEMA Apex later this year, I highly encourage you to come check us out, stop by our booth, and just ask what 360 Payments can do for you. Now, we'll segue into how to streamline workflow for your shop. That is why we're here. That's why we came together with our partners to highlight streamlining process all within the partnership. Now, imagine you've been in business for 5, 10, 15 years, and you've taken payments from your customers, right? That old school payments approach that's still out there, very common in this industry, where you have some type of a side terminal, we call it. You might have opened a merchant account, a card processing account with your bank, with someone else you know in the industry, maybe a friend of a friend, and they provided you with an account which you're happily using, but it's not necessarily talking with your software, not necessarily connected within your shop. So you go to the terminal, you have to do everything manually, right? The story is, if you're ready to check out a customer for $652, which is the bottom due on the repair order, your service writer has to manually go to this machine, punch in the numbers manually, and run the payment, where you have to print multiple receipts, multiple processes where mistakes can happen. One of my friends in the Minnesota region, who's actually also an employee of AutoCare, has his own business. And approximately a year and a half ago, he reached out to me of how to fix keying errors that constantly happen at his business. Unfortunately, if you're a service writer, you're answering phones, you're talking to your colleagues, you can be distracted, right? During the process of checking out a customer. That can happen every day, especially in the end of the day when maybe multiple customers are trying to call the shop, I'm not gonna make it, or whatever the case may be. You're focusing on checking out this $562, right? And you're entering the amount manually. It can easily happen by getting distracted that you transcribe the number, you maybe overcharge, maybe undercharge. And by having this manual old school process, if it's still in place in your business, we encourage you to try to streamline that process. That will help you kickstart this new workflow of getting a better process, a more efficient process where things are integrated. Next up here, what 360 Payments can bring you is the key features of the integration. First of all, is the customer-facing terminal. The terminal is facing the customer directly, just like at Walmart or any of the big brand businesses, maybe at the grocery store, right? The card that the customer is paying with, or if they're paying with their phone or any type of NFC technology, that payment acceptance will never leave the customer. The card will never be handed over to be swiped because the terminal is facing the card holder, right? They'll tap, they'll use the chip card, and they complete the payment that way. Then, second part of this workflow is the signature acceptance. No manual signatures need to be. We can collect that signature right after the payment authorization is complete, and they will sign digitally on the device that 360 Payments and your shop management system is running. Once that signature is captured, that will directly print on your RO invoice that you will print from your regular shop management software connected printer, and in the end, you can hand it to your customer. That process is what we call the dealership experience, that with our technology, you can bring down to the aftermarket level and bring to your shop any day you want once you decide to work with us. I touched on this earlier. Of course, contactless payments is also very popular these days. Customers, as they adapt to NFC technology, the near field communication technology, where they tap their watch, tap their phone, Google Wallet, Apple Pay, so forth and so on. Those are all built into all of our modern devices, and it's widely accepted, so no limitations there. Talked about paperless receipts, but I'll touch on that again. You know, how many times have you collected these old school receipts in a shoebox or somewhere in a filing cabinet that you had to eventually throw away? Well, with our process, once the digital signatures are collected, the digital signatures are stored back in your shop management system, like in NapaTrax. You will no longer have to keep those paper receipts because you won't have them. All the payments authorizations, all the data, all the digital signatures will be in the cloud, in your system that you will have access to as long as you use that software. And then, again, going back to eliminating keying errors. I used the example of service writer making a mistake, you know, taking that further. If those mistakes happen, and let's say an undercharge happened, a scenario like $636 was miskeyed to $6.36, that would be an example of a very significant undercharge, you know, a difference of $630. That's kind of a problem for you to try to contact that customer, trying to get them to come back or give you the difference over the phone, whatever the case may be. And we know that there are cases out there where if that undercharge happened by a keying error, you may not have the money back because the customer may not be a stand-up customer that will say, okay, I understand, honest mistake, I will come back and pay what I owe you still. So again, eliminating keying errors could really help you streamline your business. Next up, I'm going to talk about 4 of our products, which we can bring to you at anywhere in the United States. First off is Text to Pay. Text to Pay you probably heard of before. We can also call it Email to Pay. It's basically a link that you can generate for your customers from your shop management system or from your DVI tool, highlighting here AutoServe One and NapaTrax. If the customer is not in front of you, whether they are sitting outside in the parking lot or they're working from their home, working from their office, and you need to capture an authorization for that job, either a partial or a final payment, Text to Pay is a great tool to collect from your customers quickly and efficiently. Those payments also post automatically back into your invoice. As you can see on the still capture screens, we can also customize the branding and some of the language. If you would like to add a little bit of blurb that you didn't have on your receipts before, reach out to us. We can help you with that. Our Text to Pay with AutoServe and NapaTrax is also collecting digital signatures, which are also very important in terms of chargeback liability and just having a proof of who was the customer and how they accepted that transaction, how they paid you, completed with a digital signature. In addition to Text to Pay, I always like to share, or not in addition to, excuse me, in terms of Text to Pay process, I like to use the story of after-hour pickup, right? Let's say you have a customer that is running late. In the morning, they dropped off their vehicle. Your technicians diagnosed the vehicle. Now it's going through the assembly line within your shop, and it's on its way to be fixed. Now 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock rolls around. The vehicle is ready to be released. You're contacting the customer, and let's say the customer is running late, stuck somewhere. Maybe he or she is a surgeon, and they just called into an emergency surgery. This actually really happened with one of my clients a couple of years ago, and they're just not going to be able to make it by 5 or 6 o'clock at time of close when you're ready to shut down the operations for the day. So what do? Do you wait for that payment to come in that day, or do you wait for it the next day? Well, using Text to Pay, or email to pay, you should be able to collect the payment from the customer, have the peace of mind that your business is getting paid today, and send out that link for the $636, let's say, and the surgeon or whoever your customer can send that payment back. You can close your end of the day, everything will match, everything will reconcile, and the money will be on its way to your bank account, which we all know is one of the most important things to keep cash flow going and keep your business moving forward. Next up, I'll talk about our terminals specifically. These are the integrated terminals. On the screen, as you can see, we have multiple different sizes. We call them as a standard type terminal. We have a black one and a white one. Those are approximately the size of a current iPhone or a current smartphone in terms of a footprint. Usually those are recommended where space on the counter is a little bit more limited, or you need a lot of these devices. Some shops may need 2, 3, or 4, which can happen. You may not want to go with the larger or a wireless device. You can go with the standard device. If you are thinking about running your business in a way like the grocery store, where you see a nice big machine, the upgraded terminal in the middle would be a fantastic option as well. With those ones, and even with the smaller ones, we can also upload a shop logo. A professionally done logo can be sent to 360 Payments. Our technicians can tailor that for you and help you process an order of putting a nice shop logo, which can really help with brand recognition. So imagine going to Joe's Garage, and Joe's Garage logo is nicely presented on that terminal that the customer will interact with to complete that payment that will ultimately post back into your shop management system like NapaTrax. And thirdly here, we have a wireless device as well, which are really great add-ons or really great options when you're running your business, maybe in a concierge style operation. We do have customers out there and have customers approached us when they wanted to do this, where the technician is maybe running conversations and running the repair order and invoices on a tablet in one hand, and then they have a terminal with them in their back pocket. They walk outside of the business, they can walk up to the vehicle, they can show the customer, these are the work orders, or these are the steps that we've taken to fix your vehicle. This is your total, and they can right then and there, standing right next to their vehicle, could accept a payment on a wireless terminal that will also be streamlined and integrated back into the shop management system. And as I mentioned earlier, the Apple Pay and Google Pay NFC technology payments are all built into these devices, so there's no limitation. They all will support those modern ways of accepting payments. Our third product here is the consumer financing program. This is something we're very proud of. The Napa Easy Pay program, running Synchrony transactions, can all be integrated as well in your shop management system. So as an example, we have customers, right, that might pay with cash, might pay with a check or credit and debit, text to pay or in person. Those are probably going to cover 70, 80, maybe 90% of your transactions. But if you're already accepting some type of a financing program, which there are many out there, the Napa Easy Pay program that's allowed and eligible for Napa Auto Care Centers is something that we directly built into NapaTrax, and it's a fantastic alternative way to collect payments from your customers. Also, we all know, unfortunately, the economy is changing. Sometimes the economy is changing and people are keeping their vehicles on the road a little bit longer, right? We're seeing a lot more used cars that need to be fixed. So with that, if the customer has an emergency situation where the vehicle breaks down, maybe it's a bigger job, maybe it's a tranny job, a couple of grand, $3,000, $4,000, they may not have the means, unfortunately, to pay on a credit or debit or even write you a check. In those cases, having consumer financing as an offering from your business to your customers is a fantastic way of making sure that customer stays in your shop, they don't leave and go somewhere else, because you have a way to take their money. You have a way to accept those dollars from your customer, and you can start building a rapport. you can start building a relationship with them. We all know when they're in an emergency, all they care about is how to get from A to B. If they need to get their job to make more money, or if they need to go pick up their kids from daycare or from school, that's very important for all Americans. We all know that. So if you can have these payment options processed and streamlined as best as possible with, for example, consumer financing, with the Napa Easy Pay card, let's do it, because that's going to help you stay in business and, again, build more happy customers, which, let's be honest, that's what we all want. I talked about the streamlining of the integrations, right? With consumer financing, all of these options also happen. Everything streamlines right directly into the system. So let's say you're an auto care center today, and you've had the Napa Easy Pay program set up. Currently, your service writer would go to a website, and they would have to leave the Napa Tracks screen. But if you're working with 360 Payments, you have integrated payments turned on, you have text to pay turned on. Now you can turn on consumer financing, where we can no longer have to have you go to a separate website to process these type of payments. You can bring it right directly into the shop management system and make everything flow the way we built it, in the end, accepting with a digital signature. Next up is our capital program. Just one second. Our capital program from 360 Payments is a fantastic way to borrow funds if you need something quick, if you need to buy more equipment, if you maybe are taking over the shop next door and you need to expand, you don't feel like needing to go down to the bank and talk to them for a long time. Typically working with banks on borrowing money these days can unfortunately take a little bit longer. Businesses over the years have approached us to have a program like this, and we found a way to bring this to you. We're very proud of that. This capital program is growing very well for us, and we just simplified the process. You probably can see all of our programs, all of our products, just like the 360 Capital, is all about trying to simplify things and making it easy so you can be focusing on running your business, not going to the bank, not dealing with a lot of paperwork. So how do you get this done? Basically, it's an online process. You don't have to go to a physical location. There's also no interest APR on the funds that borrowed. As you can see on the example, within this $88,000 capital loan, the whole process will be paid back from your merchant services transactions. So once you're approved for a capital loan with 360 Payments, you can have access to those funds in 2 to 3 business days. And we will, once approved, we will wire you the money. You can use it efficiently for how you're trying to grow your business, buy more equipment, so forth and so on. And then you don't have to worry about writing us a check every month to pay us back. Everything will be set up and tied with your transaction processing, where every day you process transactions, the repayment as a flat amount will be sent back to us, and then it can be paid off in 6 to 12 months. Something related to our stats here, since April of 2021, when we rolled out this product, ever since then, so about a little over 2 years, we have now funded $35 million to our customers that are taking advantage of this program. All right, lastly here, within our auto care program, and a benefit that we can bring to the auto care centers is a rebate. This is something we don't do with anyone else but Napa Auto Care. So if you're enrolling into a 360 Payments account and you're running our services, you're accepting transactions, you will earn an additional rebate, which can equate to up to $300 annually that we will send back, or we will send to Auto Care, and Auto Care will add that as an additional rebate to your existing rebates from parts purchases and so forth and so on. So it's just another nice to have benefit that 360 can bring to you if you're an Auto Care member. I touched on our no contracts before. That's also part of this. No contracts for all Auto Care members to work with us, take advantage of any of our products, whether it's the integrated terminal, text to pay, or consumer financing, or 360 Payments Capital. And most importantly, which we're very proud of, we have the ability to match or beat any processor's rates, right? There's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of different products out there, and they're all great products. But if you're an automotive shop and if you're an AutoCare member, we highly encourage you to look at us, talk to us, and see if we can find a recommendation for you. Perhaps match or beat your rates if you think you have the best rates out there. If you do, that's great, but you may not have some of these technology pieces that we can bring to your shop. Again, I encourage you to talk to us and see how we can help you, how we can tailor a setup for your business. I'm coming to one of my last slides here, but this is a very important one. If you're interested and you've heard of us before, if you haven't heard of us before, I encourage you to take a picture of this QR code or even scan it right now with your phone, or copy and paste or write down the URL. That is how you contact us to be contacted by one of our sales reps. So QR code, link, load it up on your phone or your computers. You will see this website landing page on the left-hand side where you can put in your first name, last name, your business name, your contact information, email and phone number, and how you would like to be contacted. Once you submit that to us, one of our fantastic sales reps will receive that information, and within less than 24 hours, sometimes even in 15 to 30 minutes, they will reach out to you. And once they reach out to you, you will set up an appointment to discuss how we can help you streamline your workflow in your business. Once again, my name is David Fenyvesi. I thank you all, and thanks for all of our partners here for having us on and being able to present to you. If you have any questions, feel free to grab my phone number, email, and reach out to me. And we'd love to hear from you and love to support the AutoCare members across all states in the US. Thanks very much. Connor, may I hand it off to you? Here we go.
Absolutely, David.
Thank
Wonderful
you very
job.
much.
Thank you, my friend.
You. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you guys. I very, very much appreciate all of our partners here today. Sam over at AutoServe One, Jaron with Repair Shop at Tomorrow, excuse me, Napa Tracks with Evis. Some of what we're going to share today is really accelerating your shop's success and what your digital roadmap should be. So what the power of having your marketing integrated with that awesome Napa Tracks shop management system, and how this all plays a part moving forward for you. My name is Connor Tracy. I'm the Director of Partner Development here at Kukui. Very proud to work with this amazing team, with the people at Napa HQ and these other vendor partners, to really create an environment to really hopefully create a high level of success for your shop. One thing I'd like to share a little bit about Kukui is anything that we do here at Kukui, we have an acronym that we apply to that, and it's called Carload. And what that's going to include is anything that we do, it either needs to drive better car count, customer acquisition, provide retention to you, include your work-life balance, which is so critically important as we're so busy these days, dominate your online presence, increase your ARO, or better insights and better data. So we don't bring anything to you unless Carload is applied. Today, we're going to talk about several different topics. First is, why does your marketing need to be integrated with your shop management system? Why, can't I have my mom's cousin who took a community college class on building websites, build my website for me? Or, can I use this one-off email system? There is some insights that you really lose with those programs. So why is this important? We're going to talk about a digital roadmap. What our digital products and services look like for our shop and how they integrate. We're going to talk a little bit about the different insights that we can pull out of Tracks for you. And then lastly, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the power of reviews, and then managing and analyzing your results, excuse me. Why does my marketing need to be integrated? First and foremost, an integrative marketing program is going to provide you insights that you cannot get anywhere else, especially through programs like Napa Tracks or any other shop management system, which we do integrate with over 80 of those. One of those strong partnerships that we do have is definitely with the group at Napa Tracks, is utilizing those work orders that you're creating every day is going to give you insights about who is shopping in your business, Where do they live? What kind of car do they have? How much do they drive? These are things that we cannot get anywhere else. Those insights and that window of information that it gives you is really going to help guide your business. You need to be targeting profitable customers. There's certain work that you want to do that drives your profitability forward. There's certain makes and models of vehicle that are maybe more prominent in your area or that you maybe have a specialty in. The only way that you can drive more of that business through your bays is really having those integrated insights into what you're doing. The other reason that you want to do that is then you can take all of that great information that you're putting into that shop management system and build out some wonderful retention campaigns. And retaining those existing customers is critically important. We're going to share some additional insights later on about why those insights are important as well. With retention, the important thing about retention, we've been riding this digital wave over the last couple of years. We've had, frankly, some economic factors that have driven our car counts. Could not find a new car on a lot. I live up in Michigan. We had enough vehicles at one point that you could see F-150s from space because they couldn't ship them. That means that the used car market, got kicked in the teeth. I had to buy a car a little over a year ago, and everything I looked at was either wrecked or cost $10,000 more than it did a year before. That had a precipitous effect on our industry. It pushed car counts forward. Being able to leverage that economic stance to drive cars back into our bays is critically important. Folks, we are seeing this recede as well. We are seeing that wave cresting off of the beach and coming back in. It's happening across the board. Maybe you're seeing it a little bit in your shop. Maybe you're seeing it a lot. Retention is really what can help. A lot of times when we start to see car counts decrease, we worry about driving new customers in our door. What we don't want to do is forget all of these customers that have just found our business. So there's a reduced cost. You don't have to spend the money to keep them coming back. They already know you. They already understand your business. They know what kind of work and what amazing service that you can provide them as an Napa Auto Care. The likelihood that they're going to come back is greater. Your ARO is greater because they trust you. They know the kind of service you can provide. Also, frankly, we're recommending work that we like. Normally, we're recommending the work that we want to be doing. That's brakes, it's steering and suspension work, it's alignment work, maybe finding tires that are out there. So this work generally tends to drive higher profitability for you. Low bay time, higher gross margin services. You're going to be able to turn those bays over quicker, especially if you're bay limited, right? If you guys are scheduling 2, 3, 4 days out, if you're still a week or two out, critically important to controlling that bay flow. And this is also the most important thing to reduce your customer churn. One thing about these customers that have filled our bays over the last couple of years, they're transient customers. They were someone else's customer in the past, and they have now found you. They didn't just show up from nowhere. So how do we keep them our customer? It's creating ongoing contact. So one thing we preach here at Kukui is with your retention, it really should be an extension of your client experience. I talk to shop owners every single day. I'm in hundreds, maybe 1,000 shops every year. And I ask this question of everyone, but how much of your day is made up with customer experience? And when I talk about customer experience, I literally mean everything that your customer really sees, touches, feels in their experience visiting your shop and having their vehicle repaired. From answering the phones right, to having a clean waiting room, to making sure there's no light bulbs out on our sign, to estimating the car right, to giving them a great digital vehicle inspection to understand the repair, processing their payments, getting the car fixed right the first time. Most shop owners tell me it's about 90 to 95% of their day is built out of customer experience. But how do we leverage all that work, that time, that energy, that effort that we put in the shop to keep them coming back? And retention should really do that. It's providing an ongoing conversation, keeping those warm and fuzzy until they need to come and have that next vehicle repair. Frankly, we're in a forgettable industry. Nobody's waking up today thinking, man, I really, really hope I'm going to get a flat tire and that my brake pads are going to be at 30% today. That would make my day. No, guys. The reality is we're a business of necessity. So if we can remind them of the positive experience that they had during a negative situation, it's going to solidify that one-on-one bond with that customer. They're going to keep coming back to us for years and years and years, and that trust factor is going to be there. It's those customers that throw those keys on the counter, say, don't even bother giving me a call, just fix my car. I'll be back at 6 o'clock. That's just how that happens, guys, is building that solidified relationship. Let's talk a little bit about this digital integrated roadmap. You know, a big goal of everything that we're talking to you guys about today is, you know, the power of partnerships and how do these partnerships work together to create this environment for you. And this is our Kukui path to success. And I'd say Kukui, but it's really kind of more of a Napa Auto Care path to success. So what we've got is this road here, right? We've got Napa Tracks as the gas station. All of us are pulling that data out of Napa Tracks, and that's the fuel for every one of these programs. So starting out with digital discovery, how is that person finding you online? Next, they're going to ask us to schedule an appointment, right? We're going to get them in the door. And it's utilizing those software systems to make that happen. Being able to offer financing. Once we get that approval for work, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, you know, I know that this is an unexpected repair. Got some easy financing options available to you. Sending out that digital inspection through AutoServe. You know, what greater way to build trust with that customer, especially when they're new or that existing customer, but show and sell. And then being able to easily get that payment through 360 payments. At the end of that interaction, asking them to leave us a review. And then, of course, creating those retention campaigns to solidify that. And the hub and all the spokes to this wheel is Tracks, is pulling that data and pushing that data through to create this seamless environment. And that's where these partnerships are going to get more powerful, guys. We work together as brands to understand how each of our programs functions so we can see how we can work together to make your life easier at the shop. Your job is difficult. Fixing cars is a hard job. Serving customers in a positive way and a negative experience is a difficult thing to do. Did it for almost 20 years myself. So I very much know exactly what you're going through every day. So everything that we can do to assist you, to help that program work, we want to be able to do. So let's talk a little bit about digital discovery, about how your customers are finding you, or frankly, how somebody else's customers are finding you, right? So there's a lot of things that go into that. That's that online presence, that dominating online presence in your market. It's through Google, right? In most markets, 85-90% of search results are on Google. The lion's share of pretty much everything else is somebody screaming, hey, you know, whatever, Alexa, Siri into their phone, and it giving them a search result, right? It's that digital feedback. Again, people aren't just waking up hoping to have those brakes repaired. They're breaking that phone out of their pocket because the light just came on their dashboard, or the brakes just started making noise, or I'm from Michigan, it means they hit a pothole and the whole right front of their suspension fell off. But they have that need and that necessity. And are you set up with that dominating online presence so that when they search that provider, they're going to find you? Now that we need to keep in mind too, that's not just for new customers, but those existing customers, just out of habit, that's how they search, right? Even though I go to a certain restaurant once a month, I'd still pull my phone out, search them out to get the phone number, right? So it's having that online presence so that they're going to see you, they're not going to see your competitor, is going to increase the likelihood that they're going to schedule that appointment for you. So digital discovery is very important. But let's go back to that being integrated. Integrated with that shop management system so we can see how we're converting from views to my website or from that Google search. Are those creating revenue? And if they are creating revenue, what type of customer is coming in my door? Is that my target customer? If I had to ask you to paint a picture of what your ideal customer would be, what kind of household income, what kind of vehicle they drove, how close to your shop they are you targeting those people? And this is the first step in that process. Might be losing this thing here. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. A little bit of... There we go. So next, let's talk about appointment confirmation. So we go through a lot of work and effort to get appointments. Most of you are paying a website company, CRM company to schedule your appointments for you. Having those integrated is very important because it's those reminders that make those appointments sticky to get them in the door. One of the things that I see as I'm looking through our data is it's kind of scary to me, but what I actually see is I see a lot of appointments that go unconfirmed. And this is just some free advice. I really try to hone in on shops, but one, with anything that you're doing, whether it's your DVI, 360 payments, any of these programs, you really need to look at taking an active role in them. Don't be passive in this. This is helping you control your business. And I see this quite a bit. I look at hundreds and hundreds of client dashboards in a month, and it's astonishing to me how many times I see an appointment that's just left hanging out there. Having those appointments, first and foremost, be set properly for your shop. So if I'm booking 2-3 days out, but I'm allowing my appointments to be requested for tomorrow, that's starting us off on a negative foot, right? It's a negative interaction that we're starting with because people's cars are broken. We want to start with a positive response to that. So if you guys are working 2-3 days out, make sure you have a buffer that's in there. When they can request that appointment, make sure that's within an appropriate time that we can service their vehicle. But then, of course, make sure that we're reaching out to them in a timely fashion. As quickly as you can respond to that appointment, either approving it or rescheduling them, shows them a sense of urgency. It shows them that we understand that they're having trouble with their vehicle and that we are taking a proactive step to get them in. And if we don't, what is the end consequence of that? Well, the end consequence of that is, one, either they're going to think that we're too busy and we can't get them in, and they're going to go online and find another provider. The other end consequence is they're just going to maybe show up. The most positive out of that is that they just show up. But then are we controlling our bays, right? If I've got 2 days worth of work and I can't get another car in, but this customer shows up and they think that they're just getting in at 3 o'clock, and let's be real, when they think they have an appointment, they think that that car is pulling right in the bay at that appointment time. We're not controlling our business. So please, please, please take that active role. And then send reminders for those appointments. Pull that data out of that calendar and give them those nudges. I recommend 2 nudges, maybe a couple of days before the appointment and then a day of reminder. And make sure anytime that you send a message from your shop to the customer, please make sure it's personalized. Have a real conversation with the customer. Use their name. Reference their make and model. Show appreciation in any message that we have. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Customer, thank you for scheduling the appointment on your 2016 Chevy Tahoe. We really look forward to seeing you in Thursday at 3 o'clock. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, just as a reminder, Thursday at 3 o'clock, we're looking forward to seeing your vehicle. It's those personal conversations, non-robotic. Everything out there has got bots, it's got AI. If we can make this a real conversation, again, you're solidifying that bond. Reviews. Reviews are the modern day word of mouth marketing, guys. So when we're looking at reviews, you really, again, need to take an active role in this. Reason being is that, frankly, 99.9% of your customers, they're rolling out of the door super happy, super satisfied with the amazing customer service and the amazing repair that they now have on their vehicle. Why wouldn't we want to take advantage of that so that other prospective customers can see it, but more so than that, Google can see it as well? That's going to help with that dominating online presence. That's going to help you generate newer customers, but not just newer customers, better customers, because that's going to be targeted. Because the more data that we can get as far as Google reviews, Google's going to help channel your business, and that's going to help you become more visible. So take an active role. We recommend somewhere between 24 and 48 hours sending a thank you to the customer. Show appreciation for their visit and ask them politely to go on Google and leave a review. Now, as a warning, again, you cannot incentivize people to leave that review. So please don't do that. Please don't get creative, because as creative as we think we are, Google is even more creative. We have even had a shop owner that had a counter card on their counter that said, if you give us a Google review, we will give you a $10 off on your next oil change. What they didn't know is that the 360 camera view that they had done by a local marketing company was also seen by Google, because that's on their Google map. Google saw that counter card and actually penalized that shop. So just as a reminder, you cannot incentivize or try to tilt those reviews. Don't do it. You don't want to play with Google. Good and bad reviews are all the same, guys. And again, you want to respond to every review that you get. Try to respond as quickly as you can. Google looks at your response rate and how quickly you respond, and that can help weight these reviews. Again, further giving you other boosts. These are easy things that you can do within your business. Try to include keywords in your responses. So say, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, we really appreciate you bringing in your Ford Ranger. Well, guess what Google knows that you work on now? These are easy things to help. It doesn't cost you any extra to type a response to that customer. But also consumers can see good and bad reviews. What we very often see is no responses to negative reviews, and we're so scared of those negative reviews. That was bad. What consumers have told Google, and we have actually seen research on this in the automotive aftermarket, is that positive or negative, these influence customers to click that link and to reach out to the shop. And in fact, negative reviews, as long as they are responded to in a positive way and show that you are providing excellent customer service, can actually increase the likelihood that that customer is going to reach out to your shop. Very, very important, guys, to take an active role in those reviews. And those can be triggered just by your shop management system utilizing a CRM program. Let's unpack a little bit more on retention messaging as well. So retention messaging, there's a lot of nuance there. We talked about those ongoing conversations. Let's talk about the type of retention that's available out there. Email, first and foremost, that's still kind of the king. Now, we are seeing text messaging moving past that. Postcards are still very effective. They do need to be done with some consistency in utilizing data to make them effective. And then another very underutilized form of retention is follow-up calls. The type of email retention that's available out there that typically works and is typically effective is going to start with a new customer welcome. We love this. We have new customers visiting our shops at rates more than they have ever in our industry. Show that extra level of appreciation and recognize that customer for frequenting your business the first time. Mr. and Mrs. Customer, thank you for coming into our business the first time and trusting us with your vehicle, because guys, whether we know it or not, we don't sell parts, we don't sell service in this industry. We sell trust. So trusting us with your vehicle. If you have any other needs or any other vehicles that need service, here's our phone number, or you can always click here to schedule an appointment. Decline service reminders. And again, this information can get pulled right out of NapaTracs. We can look at your sub-estimates or wherever you're leaving that declined work, pulling that information, but giving them those nudges. We go through so much work to get them in the door. You're doing that excellent digital vehicle inspection, but maybe there's additional work that they weren't able to budget for or just weren't accounting for. But we don't want them rolling out the door and forgetting about it or thinking, hey, maybe I'll just wait until I get an oil change, and then they get an oil change coupon in the mail and our competitor steals that job from us. It's that taking that active role to invite them back in. So sending those declined work reminders and having it sent when your customers are able to respond to it. So maybe in my customer, I'm in a factory town and people get paid on the 15th and the 30th. Well, let's send those around that time. Maybe we send it 15 or 30 days from your shop. We're also going to talk about layering these campaigns as well. Lost customers are very, very critically important to closing that back door. So being able to look at your database and understand that maybe we haven't seen a certain household in a certain amount of time. Typically, you want to see 2 to 2.5 visits per household per year in your shop. And if you're not able to measure that, we'd love to chat with you, because that is something that we very closely measure here at Kukui, but being able to look at that retention rate. So then inviting them back in. And again, multiple nudges are typically needed to do that, because maybe when we reach out, they don't necessarily have a service need, but we want to keep those periodic points of conversation. Again, extending that customer experience on into the future. Service reminders as well. Now, these should be triggered by the data in your shop management system, like oil change reminders and tire rotations. One thing that's critically important is those should be tailored to the intervals that your shop uses. Every shop has different oil change reminder intervals. Also, if you're using different grades of oil change, for instance, when I was running shops, 5,000 miles for my Dexos oil change and 10,000 miles for my synthetic. Tapping in, pulling that labor code and sending the appropriate recommendation, but based on the customer's driving habits. We only have a few opportunities to send a message to a customer that doesn't have a point or that is not timely before they stop listening. So make sure that they're sent appropriately based on their driving habits. Tire rotations are very underutilized, and those can be a wonderful profit driver for the shop. Especially if you sell a good number of tires, this is critical. One, it's required by the tire manufacturers to maintain warranty, but two, we're getting those wheels off of the vehicle, we're inspecting the brakes, we're inspecting the front end. These are great opportunities for additional revenue for the shop. If your area requires state inspections or smog checks that you can perform, this is a great way to create frequency through your shop. And then, of course, manufactured scheduled maintenance is a great way to drive profitability. Low bay time, low impact, quick turnaround, high gross profit services. And then seasonal campaigns. Some advice with seasonal campaigns is make sure that the campaigns that you're sending speak to your company's voice. If I've got a shop that's in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and I send a summer campaign that's got a picture of palm trees, that really doesn't speak to the voice and the personality of my shop. So make sure we're sending those on time, make sure it's personalized, and then again, make sure it replicates the voice and tenor of your business. If I've got a European shop and I send something with a Chevy pickup, does that resonate with my customer base? Again, we want them to feel personally connected. And that messaging, whether it's the pictures or the verbiage in that, should help create that connection. Unpacking welcome with new customer. Some advice that we always have with these items is first and foremost, always with any messaging that is sent, we want to address that customer directly by name. Referencing the vehicle that was serviced, of course. Again, it's that extra step, that extra detail that makes that messaging feel personalized. Even though we're using software to make this happen, we want them to feel like we're sending them that personalized thank you. And of course, thank them for the business. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Customer. We really appreciate you coming in. This is what is going to set the tone. It makes it a non-transactional experience that they've had. We don't want this to be a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. This was more than likely an uncomfortable experience that they've had in their life. This is the second largest investment that they have. Budgets are tighter than they have ever been across the country. So setting this positive tone, showing that extra level of appreciation is going to solidify that bond, and it's going to increase that retention rate greatly for you. Declined and deferred service. Again, it's going to be a little bit repetitive, but of course we want to address that customer by name. Reference the vehicle that we're servicing. We want to list the specific services. Mr. and Mrs. Customer, we really appreciate you coming in last time for that tire rotation. We notice that you do still need a ball joint to be replaced. Again, reference those specific services to make that come in. And with these messages, we really want to keep things short and sweet. People are busy. Their time is challenged. Here's why we're reaching out. Here's how to schedule that appointment. Thank you very much for being our customer. Have a great day. Make that message short and sweet and to the point. Lost customers again, trying not to be repetitive, but of course, make sure we're referencing that. Give a value added. You don't have to do that. One thing that we recommend is maybe creating an escalation. So as you send these messages out, maybe we send a little nudge at 6 months. At 9 months, we follow that up with a nudge with maybe a little bit of an incentive to come in. And at 12 months, we follow that up with something even more. And again, keep that short and sweet. Utilize that data through Trax or whatever shop software system you're using to create that messaging for you. Service reminders, again, they're great. Low bay time, high gross margin services. Want to make sure that we're looking at the customer's driving habits to generate this though. Again, we mentioned this earlier, but we sell trust in this industry. So if we're sending a message that maybe is not timely, then we could violate that trust barrier. So we want to make sure that that's based on their driving habits, it's based on their vehicle, that it's personalized as well. But again, keep it short and sweet. They've got to sift through 2 pages. They are not going to be able to understand what's happening, and they're going to click and move on. They're going to feel like they're being sold. We want to be their advisor, not sell them. It's very critically important there. So we talked a lot about email campaigns. Next, we want to talk about text, because text message is really becoming the king when it comes to retention. The value of text that's very important is that on average, 98% of text messages are open. Typically, they're opened almost right after they're being sent. So it's very, very critically important that we are text messaging customers. We need to reach out to customers in the way that they feel comfortable. So typically what that's going to involve is layering these campaigns between email and text message, and maybe postcards or phone calls if you choose to do those. But the most powerful two right now are text message and email. Some very key things that'll keep text messages being successful for you. One, make sure they're personal and conversational. Almost every day I'll get a text from a customer that's very robotic, that you can tell is being sent by software. You hit that, you reply with stop, and it probably will still show up next month. But make sure it's conversational. So it addresses them by name. It's a short and sweet message that tells them why we're reaching out. Make it timely. Also remember, you must get an opt-in for if you're sending a marketing campaign. Be able to respond to the responses is critically important. So if you're outside of shop hours and you don't want to be tied to responding to text messages at 10 at night, which will definitely make your wife unhappy, personal experience when running my shop, have away messages that are canned that are available to the customer. Also, make sure that everyone on your team can see everyone else's messages. Utilizing a software to make that happen can really help. So having an app, having a dashboard that everyone can see the responses. With a text message, if somebody sends a message to our shop, we need to respond as quickly as possible. If I asked you a question on a phone call, and then you waited 5 minutes on that phone call to respond to me, it's probably going to be pretty awkward. For the customer, the expectation of instant gratification with that text message is what they expect. So we need to give ourselves the best likelihood to respond quickly, to be able to see everyone else's message. Guys, I had this happen. I didn't use a software system when running a shop. I used my own phone. I would send a message and get an approval from a customer, but if I had to leave and go to a meeting, as soon as I roll out of the driveway, then my technician is walking up to my service manager with another question. He has no idea what conversation I've had. He's now messaging the customer, and all of our communication lines have broken down. So utilizing a system, at Kukui, we have a great app that we provide our customers that are utilizing our texting services, so everyone can see everyone else's communications. But also, more often than not, we had customers responding to the appointment reminders or any of those other campaigns that we're sending, and they give us that feedback. It is a great way to understand what is happening from our customers that you guys maybe don't think about, but you'll get really cool advice that they just send via text because it's a very comfortable way to communicate. So make sure that we're able to monitor those messages and respond as quick as possible. Postcards. So this is something that we talk quite a bit about here at Kukui. Because digital media feels like it's surpassed all these things, people think that postcards are a dead art, and frankly, they're not. They are very impactful. Repair Shop of Tomorrow has a wonderful postcard campaign that they run. We actually support that greatly. Postcards do work. They do require a few things to make them impactful. They do need to be personalized. They should be targeted. And they do require some consistency. Typically, when I talk to customers that are discussing potentially bringing postcards in, I really ask them if they need to probably be ready to make about a year commitment to it and then evaluate at the end, because your customers do need to really kind of understand that this thing is coming and what is this postcard that's coming, because they are inundated with so much junk mail. But some things that can be sent via postcard are declined service reminders. You can send lost customer recommendations. So again, we talk about layered campaigns. So maybe for declined service reminders, we're sending a text message a couple of days after service. Maybe 2 weeks later, we send them an email. And maybe 2 months later, we can send them a postcard if they haven't come in for service. So it's layering these campaigns together that can make this impactful. because your customers may respond to different forms of media. It's maybe that touch at that different angle is what gets them to come in for service. So it's layering these things together. So some keys again. First and foremost, please make sure you have the correct address. So Evis showed some great information in Napa Tracks, but I'll share a little personal story about me. I did postcards, and one thing I ran into was a couple of situations. One, I was spending all this money with postcards, and they were showing up with this really ugly yellow label on it, which was a lovely reminder from the United States Postal Service that I spent a bunch of money to send these postcards, and it went to no one. The other issue that I was running into was that my email capture was very low. And also we had cars that were in the bay and we didn't have the right phone number to reach the customer because maybe the wife dropped it off and we needed to talk to the husband for approval, or it was a student and they were in class. So just a little bit of advice from something that worked for me. But anytime that you key that work order into Napa Tracks, is just let that customer know, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, we're updating our database today. Can I verify your address, your phone number, and your email? Because guys, if we don't have those three key pieces of information that are accurate in your shop management system, you can spend all the money in the world on marketing, but you're really hamstringing its ability to reach your customers. So just some advice for something that's been successful for me. Again, with postcards, being consistent is very important because there is some conditioning of customers for those postcard campaigns to start to take effect. And then allow data to be your guide. Being able to look at targeted maps for where your customers live in relation to your shop. Understanding household incomes. Maybe utilizing some of your data through your shop management system. But don't just spray and pray, guys. Every one of these postcards has a cost involved. So if you can use data to help refine who we're sending this to make sure that it gives you the greatest likelihood to have them return into your shop, these campaigns are going to be more effective. And then follow-up calls. Follow-up calls really are the most underutilized form of retention that is available. This is something that I can tell you personally that I used for years and years in shops, and it created a really, really solid impact from a retention standpoint. I'll share some pitfalls that I've had to help this be successful for you. One thing that we offer at Kukui is that we can pull the data from your shop management system to actually help generate a list based on whatever you tell us you want your follow-up to be. So first, make sure that you have a consistent time to be making these calls. You are extremely challenged every day in your business to manage your time. There is no shortage of phone calls, emails, cars that need to be picked up and dropped off, meetings. You've got to, get with your shop, your shop coach. You have a billion hats that you wear during your day. Frankly, if you do not set a consistent time for these calls to be made, they will not get done because there tends to be maybe some more pressing issues for you to get done. And then eventually it's just not going to happen. So make a consistent time. I'm a big proponent of setting an appointment for yourself. Next, make sure you have a quiet place to make these calls. This is something that I can share, but when I started making follow-up calls in my shop, we basically, anybody who spent $1,500 or more, 2 days after service, we wanted to give them a call to just say thank you and ask if there was anything else that we can do. Very short and sweet conversation. I recorded my inbound and outbound calls at the time, and after the first month of doing it, I started listening to these calls, and what I realized is that somehow it was magical. But as soon as I would start to make these calls, then that's when the air hammers started going, or somebody was running a tire machine, or the technician that maybe doesn't have the most polite form of language would want to come up and have a conversation at the counter in the background. And whether we think that person on the other phone can hear it or not, they can. So have a quiet place to make these calls so that they can really feel that bond, because that background noise can be very distracting and it makes that conversation not seem personal. Next, be willing to listen. You will get the most unfiltered, best advice that you can use to help guide your business from these phone calls. Because by and large, you're going to get a positive response. But one thing I always would ask at the end of those calls, is there anything else that we could have done different or better next time to help you with having your vehicle repaired? And you will get so many amazing tips, tricks, things that they recommend. They may say something that your competitor does that they like. This can be a great way to understand within your own operation, maybe changes that you need to make. And of course, have a plan. Don't make this just kind of, I grab a work order here and there and I call them. Have a set plan and make it consistent so that you can measure the results of this. These are things that can make these plans very careful. Again, if you're a Kukui client, please reach out to your client success coordinator. They can set up a follow-up log for you. You can go right in your Kukui dashboard and do that. Or you can do these on your own, maybe utilizing List or your shop management system. But a great way to create that, again, personalized level of conversation with your customer. Talked a little bit about this earlier, but again, multi-channel communication is critically important, folks. Frankly, different customers, different demographics, all respond in different ways. You guys are in different parts of the country. You service different types of vehicles. You have different demographics, different economics in your area. So what works for the guy down the street may be completely different for your customers. So using multi-channel communication and being able to measure the results at the end of the day is going to help you understand the impact of these campaigns. So again, layering these campaigns, and all of them should and could be layered together to create a retention platform that is going to really solidify that customer bond and keep them coming back into your shop. And at the end of the day, guys, we really need to have those results be measurable. And measurable in the term of revenue. Clicks and impressions and open rates, those are all really important things to measure if you work for a company like I do, because we are the ones who are designed to make that out. We need to understand how those work. But at the end of the day, these programs need to put revenue in your door. So understanding how is this email or this website or these follow-up calls, are these turning around to visits to the shop? Are these items helping drive new customers into my business? Am I churning too many new customers? Measure your results, and this is going to guide all of these other efforts. Am I down new customers? Is my retention rate declining? Do I need to do more of a certain service? Am I doing more of a certain service? What this is going to do is this is going to tell you, your shop management system is going to scream it out at you because you're fixing vehicles. And it's going to guide where you need to go within your business. If your new customer counts are declining and you're trying to grow your business, then you're going to look at front loading your business. If your retention rate is decreasing, okay, then let's create some new campaigns. Let's look at the dates. Let's look at how each of these campaigns are generating revenue. This is going to help you, hone that blade so that you're taking advantage of every opportunity that you have within your shop. And with that, folks, I do appreciate you. Again, my name is Connor Tracy, the Director of Partner Development here at Kukui. My contact information is on the screen. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. That is my email. That is my cell phone number. You can scan that QR code and add me into your address book. If you'd like to schedule a demo with us here at Kukui, we would love to sit down and have a comfortable conversation just to understand the goals of your business and to see where we fit. But with that, again, we are Kukui. We love that we've been able to share the power of these partnerships. And again, thank you and have a wonderful Wednesday. We're going to be taking a break. Right after that break, we're going to be hearing from Jaron at Repair Shop at Tomorrow, talking about what Repair Shop at Tomorrow can do for your shop, and also talking again a little bit more about the power of these partnerships today. Thank you, and mahalo, folks.
Hi, guys. I hope you can hear me. Can someone please confirm that I can be heard? Oh, perfect. I see the chats. Okay, sorry, guys. Coming into the stream from Atlanta. I'm Lauren Briggs. For those of you who don't know me, I'm with the Napa Auto Care Department down in Atlanta at headquarters. And the team asked me to hop on really fast just to. Hi, guys. Ooh,
I hope you can
hold
hear me.
on
Can
one
someone
second.
Please confirm that I can be heard.
We love technology, right? Super fun. So I've got my work computer on the side, had to get on here on my personal computer, but just wanted to take a quick minute to thank our partners so much who are on this call: Kukui, Repair Shop of Tomorrow, AutoServe One, 360, and Trax. This is a fantastic team, and they're the reason why we do what we do every single day. We wouldn't be who we are without vendor partners like these, and they're the reasons why we work with these companies. They come in every single day and they look at what they can do for our members, for our Napa Auto Care Centers. We are so focused on making sure that we are bringing the best of the best program to our members, and we're able to do so because of members like our vendor partners like these who have taken their entire afternoon to put together this amazing stream. I hope you guys have gotten a lot out of it. We've gotten a lot out of it here at Napa Auto Care. We've got our whole team listening in, and so thank you for everyone who's tuned in, and thank you so much to the vendor partners who have come on here and spent their afternoon to give you guys some training.
Give me a. Here we go. Can we hear me? Can everybody hear me? All right. Well, the beauty of doing a live event with technology in the 21st century. And so hopefully everybody can hear me. Welcome back to our first ever Power of Partnerships event live from Las Vegas, Nevada, where it is a blistering 115 degrees. But the good news is all of you get to watch from the comforts of your home or your shop, and us as presenters get to enjoy this beautiful weather. So look, my name is Jaron Klaber. I'm the National Sales Manager for Repair Shop of Tomorrow. We are Napa Auto Care's endorsed business coaching company. And what I'm going to talk to you today about is how we can help drive your shop towards a better future. So let's get started. Look, today you've heard from a number of our great partners. Evis with Napa Tracks kicked us off, followed by Sam from AutoServe One, David from 360, and we just heard a great presentation from Connor from Kukui. Now, each one of these companies, their products, their services, can really help you be successful in your business. However, when we put all these partners together and we work as a cohesive unit, that is when we can really start to take your shop to the next level. And so I want to start with a problem that we see in the automotive industry. And so as I travel across the country, visiting clients, prospective clients, participating in trade shows, there seems to be a common theme or a common problem that always gets brought up. This problem is, how do I put processes in place that improve workflow, employee retention, efficiency, and productivity? So again, we need to talk about what solution we have available to you as Napa Auto Care Centers that can help address this problem. So before we get into SOPs and creating them and what those look like in your shop, I wanted to take just a few minutes to talk about how to create some consistency in your life that will help translate into your shop. So look, I know a lot of successful shop owners. I've been fortunate enough to work all across the country. And I also know a lot of just successful business owners in other industries. And one of the things that I always see, one common theme, is successful people always have a consistent routine, and they also have a powerful mindset that helps them achieve their goals. Okay, for a second here, it looks like we have some audio issues. So hang with us for 1 second. I apologize. We'll get kicked back here just a few seconds. Just give me 1 minute, please. Well, hopefully everybody can hear me. I guess we had a little bit of static going on, and so we apologize for that. For those that are listening, we do have the chat feature, and so we will monitor that and make sure that everybody can hear us okay. So back to what we were talking about creating consistency. So everybody that I know that's successful in business, successful in their life, they have established a daily routine. So establishing a routine, a consistent routine, will help you stay on track and reach your goals. So the purpose of establishing a consistent routine is to make sure that we have more good days than bad days. And it looks like we're getting some issue with the audio. So let's see here. Is this any better? Hello, is this any better? Can somebody give us a thumbs up?
You're just getting a few pops, but you're okay. Just roll.
All right, so unfortunately, it looks like we're having some audio issues. I apologize for that. Hopefully it wasn't impacting everybody. Connor's going to come in here, switch a mic around.
I'm your sexy assistant. Let's give that a whirl.
All right, let's try this for a third time. And we'll try to limit the background noise as well. So unfortunately, I talk kind of loud, so I think the microphone might have been affecting that. So look, we talk about establishing a routine. The next thing we need to do is we need to make sure we're prioritizing our task. And if you think about it, what I like to try to do is always make sure that we accomplish our most difficult task in the beginning of the day. And it looks like we're loud and clear on my end. So look, you would have thought this would have happened in the first presentation, not the last presentation. But regardless, we will march on, we'll roll with the punches. So when we talk about prioritizing tasks, again, the big thing is trying to accomplish that most difficult thing in the beginning of the day, right? If we can accomplish the most difficult task, everything else really in your day becomes a little bit more easier. Now, I understand as shop owners, as service advisors, look, things pop up, things happen throughout the day. And so another problem may arise that was bigger than the problem you tackled at 8 o'clock in the morning. But the main goal here is to just make sure we're prioritizing our task so that we can be successful, the most successful we can. And then the last thing is we have to stay focused. In today's world, with all the technology, with text messaging, with Snapchat, with emails, it's really easy to just grab your phone or basically look at your computer and take away from what it is that you're really trying to get done and to accomplish. So if we can help eliminate those distractions, prioritize our task, you will ultimately be able to be more successful and reach your goals. Now let's talk about SOPs. We identified the problem was how do we create processes to improve our efficiencies? So look, a successful business needs committed workers who complete procedures consistently and accurately. Okay, I don't care what kind of business it is, you have to have SOPs in place. Think about McDonald's for a second. Okay, they are the largest fast food chain in the United States. They sell more food than anybody else. They also own the most real estate in the United States. But do people really go to McDonald's because it's a good cheeseburger? No, it's consistency, it's quality. So if McDonald's can teach a 16-year-old kid who can barely tie his shoes to put 2 pickles on a hamburger, I think we can create systems that our people can follow as well. So SOPs, what are they? Well, they are what you to believe the most effective, efficient way to complete the job at hand. And then what can they help you do? Well, SOPs can help your business have predictable results. Something that can be repeated again and again. And your SOPs can also help you maintain the quality, and here's this word again, consistency of your service. And so as I travel across the country, like I said, and I meet with shop owners, great auto care centers, One of the questions is Jared, can you just give me a book? Can you just create SOPs for me and just implement them in my shop? And unfortunately, I'm here to tell you, there is no silver bullet. You've heard from our partners today, and yes, we need to make sure we're doing certain things in our business to be successful. But at the end of the day, you as the owner, you need to take control. You need to be the agent for change, and you need to create SOPs that are going to fit your business and your culture. So by doing this and having these SOPs, it's going to allow us to streamline this process. And so the first thing is making sure our tasks are organized. So creating SOPs for each task helps ensure that all steps are completed in the correct order. And so when we talk SOPs, yes, we need an SOP for every piece of our business, and we need to make sure they're written down so that not sometimes, not every other time, but all the time, our employees follow them. What can they help you do? Well, they can help you reduce the errors in your business by providing clear and concise lists of steps to follow. And then we know in the automotive business that time is money. And so at the end of the day, creating these SOPs, having them written down, having them organized will also help you save a tremendous amount of time, which will streamline your productivity and make you more efficient. Now, shop workflow. We're going to spend a little bit of time here because workflow is mission critical in a shop. So we're going to look at the initial client experience, the inspection, estimation, and client presentation. We're going to talk through ordering our parts and scheduling our work appropriately. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is organization, invoicing, and that exit experience that the client is receiving when they leave your facility. So let's go into the initial client experience. All right. So the initial client experience. There's over 180,000 independent repair shops in the United States. So what does that tell us? Well, ultimately, that tells us your potential clients have a lot of choices. Okay? They have a lot of choices. So I want you to think about your business, and I want you to think, what type of experience are you providing for new clients when they walk through the door? One thing that I talk a lot about is the pre-arrival experience. And I think this is something that a lot of our shop owners probably haven't thought about. So you heard from Evis from Napa Tracks today, and he was talking to you about how you can harness that tool. It's one of the most powerful tools in your shop. So hopefully you're using a shop management system and you're scheduling your work. So if you're scheduling your work, you should know who is coming into your facility every day. Now, one thing I would talk to you about on the pre-arrival experience is denoting in your system who is a new client versus who is an existing client. Because I want you to think about this, and I want you to maybe try this when you get back into your shop. So one of our clients we worked with, they created about a 45, 60-second video showing the client what they will experience when they come into their shop. All right? They showed where the drop-off was, they showed the service counter, they showed the waiting room, and they also panned out and showed the loaner cars. Right? We know people aren't excited to come see us. It's just a fact. There's really nothing that we can do to change that. But what we can do is we can kind of bring that guard down by showing them, look, this is the type of experience you're going to get. All right, so think about doing something like that. Doesn't have to be a video. Maybe it's just reaching out to them, introducing yourself, and giving them some comfortability before they even walk in the door. Now, the in-shop experience, okay? This is really important as well, especially when you have new clients coming in. We all know that a first impression it lasts for a lifetime, right? The first impression is very critical. And so if you think about a bad experience that you've had. I'm sure some of you have went into, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a hotel, whatever the case may be, you walk in and you're standing at a counter, you're waiting to talk to someone. And when they finally look up at you, it's like you're an inconvenience that you're there, right? I'm here to spend money and it's an inconvenience for you. So a couple things I just want you to think about and implement in your business, right? When someone walks in, let's greet them immediately. Statistics show us it only takes about 20 to 30 seconds if someone's standing in your facility to not get greeted to start to make them feel uncomfortable. Let's go back to our shop management software and scheduling and knowing who's coming in for work. Whether you have a digital board in your shop, some folks still have the standard whiteboard, but let's recognize the clients that we have coming in today. Let's make them feel important. Now, we do some things with our clients where we have a loyalty program. So on our whiteboards or on our TV screens, we're highlighting that these customers, these clients, are a part of a loyalty program. Well, why would we do that? Well, number one, we want them to feel loyalty to us and have a great experience. But number two is we want people who are not in the loyalty program to look at that and say, hey, Jaron, why isn't there a star next to my name? Okay. Next thing, when they're standing in front of you at the counter, we need to make sure we're explaining our process in detail. And I always tell people here, this may sound hard for you to implement, but do not let the client train you. You, as a shop owner, as an advisor, you train the client. And so we're going to talk about the inspection process, the 300% rule. Are you comfortable as an owner or as an advisor telling a client that if they're not willing to follow this process, maybe you don't have the shop for them? Okay, something to think about. And then the last thing before they leave, of course, let's just make sure we're eliminating any anxiety that they have. People don't trust the automotive industry. They come in, they're already scared because they think, we may get taken advantage of, or this is an unexpected repair. Well, our goal is to help eliminate that anxiety. So we do that by identifying their known concerns and repeating them back to them, right? We're always active listening. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we need to be active listening. So we review their concerns with them, and then we review any known cost, diagnostic testing fees that are going to occur, and then we get their preferred method of contact so that we can stay in communication with them throughout the entire process. Because that's really what I believe is the biggest issue. When clients feel like there's a lack of communication, that's when the trust is broken, and that's when that experience turns bad. All right, so 300% rule. Looks like our audio is still good, so everybody's good to go. Let's talk about the 300% rule. First of all, what is it? Why do we use it? And what results will it produce? This right here is one of the most impactful processes that you can have implemented in your shop. So the first 100% of the 300% rule is 100% of the vehicles are inspected using your digital vehicle inspection software. Now, I would say the top maybe 5-10% of shop owners in the country are operating in that 90 to 100% range. But look, we want every vehicle inspected. I don't care if it's an older vehicle. I don't care if it's a newer vehicle. If Mrs. Jones is never going to spend any money, it is our responsibility as owners to make sure that we tell our clients everything that we found with their vehicle. Because whether you think it or not, when that vehicle is in your hands and you take the keys, your shop now has the liability over all that. So the last thing we want to do is not inspect the vehicle because we think the client may not purchase anything that they need. The second thing is let's make sure we have a minimum of 20 high quality pictures and videos. Okay, if you think about, take a picture of the front, the back, the sides, maybe a picture of the dash to cover your own butt, there's already 5 pictures right there. Okay, and so a minimum of 20 high quality pictures and videos. When you use a good inspection software like AutoServe One, and you have the reporting tools to see that, when I take an inspection and I take more pictures, the results are better. That allows you to kind of fine tune this process and see where exactly you need to be. And then the last thing is in the inspection process, complete all your inspections by noon. So I want you to think about the morning from 8 to 12. It's really like we're really just a processing factory, process plant. We're getting cars in, we're getting our technicians assigned, we're building out our inspections. We want those all done by noon, so in the afternoon, we can flip our facility from a process facility to a production facility. Now, the second step in the 300% rule, 100% of the findings are estimated in your shop management systems and priced out. Look, Even if we're doing our inspections 100%, if we're skipping this step, we are doing a disservice to our clients. So while we're doing this, there's some things we want to do. We want to review any previous recommendations and warranty work, okay? Because the last thing we want to do is recommend something that we previously did. The second thing is we want to make sure we're using our software, shop management, NapaTrax, checking parts and availability. So I get this question, well, why would I do that, Jaron? Well, think about this. If we're building this estimate out and then we go to call Mrs. Jones and she says, yeah, go ahead and do everything, and I haven't sourced my parts and I don't know when I can tell her that work's going to be done, ultimately, that makes you look unprofessional. And then lastly, during this process, make sure we're grouping our components together and we're prepared to sell systems. I think you heard from Evis this morning talk about going to the restaurant and the steaks and the potatoes and selling by the job, right? Again, AutoServe One, you're able to take that information, you're able to put it into each individual sub-estimate so you can create a clear and concise estimate for your client. So the last 300%, we've done everything right. The last 300% of the 100% of the 300% rule is the presentation, right? So everything we priced out in our shop management system, we're presenting to the clients. But it's really critical that we do it in this order. What the car came in for, any safety needs, and then any preventative maintenance. Now, when I tell people about our 300% rule and it comes into the presentation stage, the first thing I always tell people is lead with the good, okay? I make the joke, you don't want to tell someone their baby's ugly, even though we've all seen pictures online where some people's babies are ugly. It's just the fact. Look, we don't want to tell anyone that they're ugly. So let's lead with the good, okay? And then let's step through this process. That's really critical. Nobody wants to hear the car's a piece of junk. So when it comes to safety needs, we need to make sure we're prioritizing these safety needs for the clients. And then lastly, we need to be looking back at our shop management software and looking at the previous history and then using some repair data to pull that preventative maintenance out, because maintenance represents a great opportunity for you. So I would say that the clients that we work with that are very successful at that, one of the things they still struggle with is the preventative maintenance piece. Okay, so if you're in this position and you're doing the 300% rule and you feel like you're pretty dialed in, think about it. Think about how good you're at preventative maintenance, run reports out of your shop management system, and you may be surprised. So at the end of the day, the purpose of this is to build value and a maintenance program for your clients' vehicles. We want to help you fix your shop from a reactive, my car is broken model to more of a proactive maintenance style model. Okay, those are the clients you want. If we do it that way, the results that you will see are going to be incredible. And I can't stress this point enough, right? We're not selling the client anything that they don't need. We call it full disclosure. We're literally putting everything on the table and letting them be the decision maker. They get to pick and choose what they want done. But again, it's our responsibility as owners, as advisors, to tell them what is wrong with their car. Just like if I go to a doctor, he can tell me, Jaron, your liver enzymes are a little high. Maybe you should cut back on the drinking. Well, if I take that advice, that's up to me, right? So same thing with your car. Make sure we're presenting everything and we're letting our clients be the ones that ultimately make the decision. So what can it do for you, right? It's got to do something for you. So here's some results that we got from some of our clients. And this is a single shop. So this is in January of 2022, the bottom line, and then January 2023, the start line is where their average repair order was. So look, this shop was using DVI. We just kind of brought them on as a client, and their average repair order was right about that industry average, right about that 402, 410 mark. Depending on which studies you read, you'll see that number change. But as you can see, as we implemented this 300% rule, those sales per RO started to grow. And at the end of June, compared to June of 2022, this client saw a 66% average repair order growth. And here is the best part. They worked on less cars, more dollars per cars, and made more money. I guarantee you, if you go into your shop tomorrow and you talk to your technicians, ask them this question. Would you rather rack 8 cars a day or would you rather rack 4 cars a day? And I think you all know the answer. All right, so look, that's the 300% rule. We could spend an entire day going through that, refining that process, but we wanted just to keep it short and sweet for you all and just give you a little bit of taste of what it is and how impactful it can be for your shop. So we've done all this. The client said yes to certain work. Now it comes down to parts ordering and scheduling. The main goal here that I always talk about is just make sure we're staying in front of our technicians. All right, we already talked about checking the parts and the availability before assigning the work, okay? And then also making sure the right technicians are getting the right job. Because it's not about you all as shop owners being successful and taking all the wins. We want your entire team to win. So we want to help you set your people up for success. And so if we're checking those parts availability and we know when we can get them, right? Let's say that power steering pump's a couple days out. That's okay. Mrs. Jones said, yeah, I want to do all the work. Well, guess what? We take the car off the rack, we back it out, and we order the parts. Think about how profitable and how productive your technician will be on Thursday morning when all they have to do is pull the car in, put it up on the rack, and they have all their parts at their disposal. Okay? We all know time is money, and if a bay is tied up, it's costing you money. Not daily, not hourly, but every single minute. All right. Last thing, organization and invoicing, or as I like to call it, the exit experience. So there's really 2 buckets we want to talk about here. Preparation and execution. So before we call the client, we want to make sure that we're prepared. Now, making sure discounts and savings are applied. People are probably going to go, whoa, we don't do discounts in our shop. Look, I'm not talking about discounting your service because a client is complaining about the price. I'm talking about any discounts that you do for the community, whether that's military, whether that's working with a local school or a hospital or a first responders discount, right? Those are the types of discounts I'm talking about. Now, I could get on my little soapbox here, but I won't. If you are going to discount anything, make sure you're always discounting the parts and you're never discounting the labor. There may be some people that disagree with that statement, but Repair Shop of Tomorrow, yours truly, we stand behind that. The next thing is just making sure all the materials are together, right? Think about this. This probably happened in your shop. Mrs. Jones, poor Mrs. Jones, she gets her car worked on at every shop across America, right? But she comes in and you don't have all of her stuff together. She pays her invoice. She's got it in front of her and you're sitting at the counter and she's still standing there. And you kind of look at her and you're like, yeah, can I help you? She's like, yeah, do you know where my keys are? And at that point, panic ensues. Bob's on the counter. He's yelling back, Jim, where's the keys for the Camry? And he's like, the black one? No, the red one. Okay, you're all probably laughing because you know that has happened in your shop. I've seen it happen in many places across the country. All right. And then one step further, we finally give her keys. Well, then she asks us where her car's parked. And we're like, well, I don't know. It's your car. You drive it. It's in the parking lot somewhere. All right. So let's just make sure we're prepared because we want this exit experience to be just as good, if not better, than the initial client experience. And then the last thing is we want to identify any pre-schedule opportunities before we call the client. Think about who does exit scheduling the best. You'll probably say it's a doctor or a dentist, and I would have to agree with you. You leave the dentist, you have your 6-month appointment. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to be able to book out for 6 months consistently like the dentist, but you could almost add another 100% to the 300% rule, make it the 400% rule, and pick up those recommendations that the client just wasn't able to do today. Okay, so we want to make sure we're having those conversations. When it comes to execution, we always want to contact the client using their preferred method of contact, our PMOC. If I told you in the beginning that I wanted you to text me when my vehicle was ready and you called me, well, what happens? I wasn't listening. I essentially just broke that trust that we had. All right. The next thing, confirming the pickup time, right? You can almost go back to drop off, right? If your client is asking you when their car is going to be ready, just a little piece of knowledge here. Never tell them between 2 and 5. because all they hear is 2 o'clock and they'll call you every 15 minutes and ask you the status of their car, right? So when we contact them using their method of contact that they prefer, let's just confirm what time they're coming to pick up the vehicle. So again, we can have all that information together. When they're there in front of us, we want to review all the work. We want to go back and make sure, see if we can get any exit scheduling done, and then ultimately recognize that they have choices and thank them for their business. So if you think about the initial client experience, and we talked about first impressions being lasting, the exit experience, like I said, you could almost argue that that is more important. And take this analogy. So I'm a sports guy, so I always talk about sports. 10 years ago, somewhere around that time frame, the New England Patriots were playing the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl. For those that are in Seattle, I see Don Myers has made some comments on this stream. You're probably a Seahawks fan. This one might hurt you a little bit, Don. But Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks were executing a perfect drive, right? They had everything going their way until they got to the 1 yard line, and Pete Carroll decided, I'm not going to give the ball to my all-pro running back who's 260, solid muscle, and has to gain 1 yard. I'm going to let Russell Wilson drop back and throw a pass. Well, what happens? Malcolm Butler from the Patriots makes the play of his life. He intercepts the ball. They pan over to Tom Brady. His face is like, wow, what just happened? And the Patriots won the Super Bowl. So why do I tell you that? The reason I tell you that is because you can do everything right through this process. But if you mess up the exit experience, if you fumble the ball, or if you let that pass get intercepted, nothing else that you did matters. Okay? So, your task. You probably didn't realize you were going to get some homework after coming to this event. But what I want you to do from a task standpoint, right? I want you to go back to your shop. I want you to analyze your current SOPs and identify any areas of improvement and areas of success that you can implement all this stuff that you heard today. The next thing is maybe develop new SOPs based on what you learned today from us and from all of our partners. And if you don't have any, it's not develop new SOPs, it's simply create SOPs, right? Create these procedures to increase your efficiency and your productivity. And then the last thing is we got to make sure our entire staff is trained on these. Everyone needs to know what right looks like so that they're rowing the boat in the same direction. Look, by improving SOPs in your business, your shop will increase efficiency, productivity, and ultimately customer satisfaction. I always talk about this quote in every one of my presentations. It's by James Clear, who is the author of a book called Atomic Habits. Now, we were having some audio issues in the beginning, so I'm not sure how the whole creating consistent routines in your lives came through, but that's really what this book's all about. So the quote is, we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. So I don't care how lofty your goals are, okay? If we don't have processes in place, we're never going to be able to achieve those goals. So here's our action plan. Okay, right now we're July 19th, 2023, and this is what I want you all to do after you leave this training event. The first thing is take a look at your shop management system. Ensure that that system is set up correctly to improve productivity and profitability. Then the second thing is look at your DVI. Hopefully you have a DVI in place. If you don't, contact our friends at AutoServe One and make sure you get a demo, because again, the 300% rule, the DVI, that will be the best sales tool that you ever put in your business. So if you have one, let's implement that 300% rule and get more yeses to the estimates. The third thing is credit card processing. You heard from David at 360 Payments, one of our great partners here with RSOT and the Napa Auto Care family. Just make sure you're offering an integrated payment solution that has text to pay, that has consumer financing, that helps streamline this process. Connor did a great job talking about CRM and how the power of retention can help you get the right clients into the shop more often. A lot of you have probably experienced some incredible growth over the last couple of years. And when you hear marketing, you think, whoa, I can't handle what I have, Jaron. Why am I going to do more? Well, think about Connor's presentation and think about how that retention marketing can be really impactful for your business. And then look, the last thing is business coaching. I told you we are the Napa Auto Care endorsed business coaching company. So utilize a coaching company to help put your processes in place and ultimately take all these tools that you learned about today and implement them in your business. And by working with a coaching company, we are going to help you streamline these processes so you can unlock those hidden revenues that lie in your shop. Now, I'd be remiss without talking a little bit about the Repair Shop of Tomorrow experience. Like I said, we are Napa's endorsed coaching company. But look, we are a true one-stop shop that provides coaching and marketing solutions to help grow and scale your business for the future. One thing that I really love about our company is all of our coaches are either current Napa Auto Care owners or had ran successful auto care centers in the past. And so our coaches, they may have been in your shoes. You may be struggling. You might be watching this webinar and thinking, how do I put all this together? And that's okay. That's fine. But our coaches, they got help 10, 15, 20 years ago. And now they are giving back to the wonderful Napa Auto Care family and dedicating their time so that they can help change your lives like a business coach changed their lives previously. As you can tell, we work with the best Napa Auto Care vendors, and we help you decide which programs are best for you, but we also help you create those implementation plans to ensure their success. And so why for you as a shop owner would you want to work with Repair Shop of Tomorrow? Well, we're pretty proud of some of our clients. Napa Auto Care has what they call the Napa Auto Care Center of the Year. And we're proud to say that the 2022 Napa Auto Care Center of the Year, Troy Auto Care, Donnie and Christy Hudson, and the 2023 Napa Auto Care Center of the Year, Roy Foster and Jackie Foster at Roy Foster's Automotive, are both clients of ours. On average, our clients see their sales increase around $200,000 in the first year. The average repair order increases around $70, and the effective labor rate increases $40. So look, I want to thank you all so much for attending this Power of Partnerships event. We might have had a little bit of struggle with some audio. We may have been a little bit off on time, but this was our first event to really come together as a group and really show you the power that we can all have collectively together to help make your shop successful. Now, we got a little teaser for you coming soon through the Napa Auto Care family. You're going to see some exciting programs, some collaborative efforts between all of our companies. And so that's really all I can say right now, but stay tuned. And we're gonna end this here in a few minutes. We're gonna talk a little bit about the event, and then we're gonna come back in to a power panel. So again, thank you all for being here, and we'll talk to you just in a few minutes. As our day comes to an end, I want to thank you all for participating in the Power of Partnerships event. You've heard from some amazing Napa Auto Care partners today, and each one of them has shared valuable insights, unique experiences, and innovative strategies. But what ties all these threads together? That's the very essence of what we'll discuss now. As we've learned today, our journey to success is multifaceted, encompassing diverse areas like shop operations, marketing, training, and so much more. Yet, it's crucial to remember that these elements do not exist in silos. They are interconnected pieces of a complex engine that is your business. My role, and the role of Repair Shop of Tomorrow, is to serve as the strategic glue that binds all of these elements together. We merge the distinct expertise of our valued partners into a cohesive, comprehensive strategic initiative that propels your business forward. Think of it like a finely tuned race car. Each partner we've heard from today is a critical component, contributing to the power and the performance of the vehicle. But without a skilled driver to guide them, to harmonize their operation and coordination, the race car wouldn't reach its full potential. That's where we step in. We are the drivers of this race car. Through coaching SOPs, developing tailored marketing strategies, and providing access to an advanced learning center, we help you fine-tune a high-performance business engine. Our role is to ensure that all of these parts are working in harmony, operating at peak efficiency, racing towards the same goal. But remember, this isn't just about us guiding you. This is a journey. This race is a collaborative effort. You, the shop owners, are as integral to this process as any partner that was on this stage today. It's your energy, your passion, and your dedication that fuels these strategies, turning them from mere blueprints into a winning machine. As we close this event, I encourage each of you to reflect on the insights shared today. Consider how these diverse elements, shop operations, marketing, training, fit into your business engine. And remember, you're not alone in this. With Repair Shop of Tomorrow and our valued partners by your side, we're ready to guide you through this journey, paving the way for a thriving future. Thank you. Let's embrace the power of partnerships and together race towards success.
All right, well, welcome everybody back in. Let's hope we have our audio good. Kukui Carl is listening. Thank you, partners. Anthony Thomas says thank you from the Auto Care team. So we're all good here. If Rick, you can put our last slides up here. We're going to talk a little bit about some special promotions that we have for all those that attended. So again, Repair Shop of Tomorrow, Napa's business coaching, preferred business coaching company. We're offering everybody today that was in attendance a free business evaluation. And so you can see the QR code. All you need to do is scan that QR code on the screen and you can put in your information and yours truly will get a hold of you and we will review your business. We will look at your labor gross profit, your parts gross profit, your labor hours per ticket, your average repair order, your gross profit dollars per hour, and your efficiency, productivity, and effective labor rate. We will build this evaluation for you for free. It doesn't cost you anything. And then we will review that with you on the phone. At the end of that evaluation, if it sounds like we can help, we have a solution for the problems that you have, we would love the opportunity to work with you. So again, from Repair Shop of Tomorrow, thank you all so much for participating in our event. And we hope to be talking to you soon.
From 360 Payments in collaboration and partnership with Napa Tracks over at Napa Auto Care, texting and free text to pay. What that means is you're able to receive a texting package within your Napa Tracks software where 360 Payments adds the text to pay promo. Just like Jaron, my friend over here said, please scan the QR code to get in touch with us. One of our awesome payments consultant colleagues will get in touch with you, help you evaluating how texting and text to pay can be part of your business, running payments more efficiently, faster, and better. Thank you very much for having us today, and we'll look forward to talking to you soon.
AutoServe One's promotion for this event is a $250 gift card, also a $250 setup fee, so a savings of $250. Ultimately, if you scan that QR code, do a demo, take a look at what we have to offer. And if you want to move forward, this is a nice way to kind of step forward and getting going.
And last but not least, here at Kukui, we would love to have you scan that QR code. We'd love to just sit down and have a chat, talk about what you're doing with marketing, talk about how our program is going to interact with your shop management system. By taking advantage of that, we will offer you 3 months free if you sign up before the end of August. Please reference the promo code partnership to get your 3 months free. We look forward to talking with you.
And awesome. And us from Napa Auto Care, Napa Tracks, obviously, you know, all these great partners of ours that we have, we work with them to negotiate the best rate. So you guys can utilize the network of 17,000 strong and obviously bring you the best value for the program. So you guys have heard from our great partners, all those different things we do with them and they do for us to make it the best in the industry that is possible. So again, we are continually working to add more products, but this is going to be the best products you'll have and you need for your shop to run it efficiently every single day. So again, I know he said last, but I'm the last. I guess I opened up and we're going to close it out together since we opened it up together.
Yeah, I would just say to everybody here, of course, you know, this was a collaborative effort. We all
Yes,
put
sir.
this together. For everybody that's watching, that has watched, you know, we're really excited to see what we can help you all, you know, all of us working together, what we can help you accomplish. So Connor, David, Sam, Evis, thank you guys.
Power of
Thank you.
partnership.
The power of
on
partnerships.
wow.
1, 2, 3. Power of partnerships. We'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
everyone.
Have a good day.